Chapter 288, My name is 5. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 288, My name is 5. I wandered around the Great Tomb domain for quite a while. The tombstones in the Great Tomb domain seem endless. No matter how much I walk or even fly around, the end is nowhere in sight. Well, that's not really a problem. The real issue is that the Ghost Kings Hyogwak had mentioned are nowhere to be seen, not even the slightest hint of them. Where do I have to go to find these Ghost Kings? Whether I leave this place or not, the first step should be to meet these Ghost Kings. What a mysterious space. I think to myself as I look across the never-ending plains of tombstones. There can't possibly be no end to this. Even if there are plains this large in the bright cold realm, there should have been some changes as I kept moving. At the very least, there should have been changes in the heaven and earth spiritual energy, but this mysterious space stretched on endlessly without any such variations. And I feel a sense of déjà vu. Looking at this Great Tomb domain, I feel a strange familiarity. At first, I didn't realize it, but as I continued to look around, it started to feel like I had been here before. I pause my walk and concentrate on my nascent soul. That's when it happens. I realize something is off. Wait, this is... Wawoom. I spread my fingers and move the devilish energy within me. As the energy flows from my fingertips, it forms a mirror-like shape in front of me. And looking at the mirror, I can't help but be startled. My face. At some point, my face had changed from Yuan Yu's to my original, Seo Unhyun's. And it isn't just that. Even my clothing had changed from Yuan Yu's blood-colored robe to the usual clothes I wear. If there is a difference, it's the color of the robe. The robe turned completely black. When did my appearance change? No, more importantly, if I change like this, could my identity be revealed? No, that's not it. I observe myself and realize why I had suddenly reverted to my original appearance. Yes, this Great Tomb domain reflects the soul's form unknowingly. Even if I use the name Seo Lee, I am ultimately Seo Unhyun, so it changed back to my original appearance at some point. I assume that once I leave the Great Tomb domain, I will return back to the form of Seo Lee. But there's something strange. I look at my black robe. Why has the robe turned black? And somehow, I know the answer myself. Death. My appearance changing in this Great Tomb domain is related to death. Perhaps those who came wearing colors other than white also had their clothing transformed into black. Suddenly, the word death seems to give me a clue as to why I can't see the Ghost Kings. Back when I found the Nether Crossing ship with Seo Ran, the minor ghosts living near the Nether Crossing ship called me a great ghost. Perhaps the death accumulated around me has become even stronger than before, causing something to happen. For instance, it's not that I can't see the Ghost Kings. They might have sensed my energy and all fled somewhere. That seems quite plausible. Then, there is only one thing to do. I sit cross-legged and take a deep breath. If the Ghost Kings are fleeing from me, making them invisible to me, I just need to chase them faster than they can flee. Up until now, considering this Great Tomb domain as a sort of sacred place for Black Ghost Valley, I had been walking slowly or flying without using the flying escape technique. But it seems I've been too polite. These damned creatures, they don't even greet their guests properly. Using the pure spiritual force within me, I begin to generate gang spheres around me. They dare ignore me and run away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12. The gang spheres around me continue to increase. In the world of intent, the number of my avatars gradually increases. At the ultimate pinnacle, the maximum limit is 9 gang spheres. At entering heavens, they melt into the formless sword, and the gang spheres disappear. At treading heavens, I become one with my inner core and accelerate with up to 10 gang spheres. Of course, during treading heavens, just accelerating with the formless sword alone exceeds the efficiency of 10-fold acceleration, so I felt no need to create more gang spheres. Now, at tribulating heavens, I feel that the number of gang spheres I can create has been squared. As the heart within the formless sword awoke, 10 from the formless sword, 10 from myself. And as the formless sword and I intertwine, the spirit amplifies, and 10 is multiplied by 10. That is, I can create 100 gang spheres. 100 avatars of intent appear around me. Combine. Pababababat. As the 100 avatars of intent fly toward me, the world begins to slow down. Yuan Yu's body is not seasoned enough to wield the full power of the formless sword, but simply accelerating with gang spheres poses no problem. Flash. Accelerated by a factor of 100, I use the flying escape technique and begin to fly madly towards a certain location. Kagugugu. The speed surpasses the heavenly being stage and reaches the early level of the 4-axis stage. How long have I flown like this? I smile as I spot the rippling waves of intent in the distance. As expected, I found them. Indeed, it wasn't that the Ghost Kings were invisible. They just sensed my energy and were fleeing. The intents that are increasingly growing in terror are getting closer. And then, I feel the terrible screaming of the Ghost Valley. Aawaya. The great ghost has come. Run away. Run away away. Flash. I quickly rush towards one of them. As I charge at one who appears about mid-heavenly being stage, I increase the plane of my hand to be able to grasp the soul. After seizing the creature, the mid-heavenly being Ghost King begins to scream terribly. Hiwaya. Hawa. Ka. Hi-hiya. Looking at this trembling creature in fear, I ponder what to do. White Orchid Blessing Incantation is the best for calming the mind. The White Orchid Blessing Incantation is ideal for restoring the spirit of this terrified creature. However, I can't shake the ominous feeling that using the White Orchid Blessing Incantation would dissolve this Ghost King entirely. Maybe just a little. Wawoom. I conjure a tiny White Orchid Blessing Incantation and blow it into him. Then, I'm forced to hear an even more terrible wailing than before. I'm dying. Ayaya. Hiya. Apparently, the White Orchid Blessing Incantation, having anti-devilish properties, is fatal when infused into a Ghost King filled with ghostly energy. What should I do with this damned thing? Thinking for a while, I activate the Een Soul Ghost Incantation. Kagugugu. A dense aura of curses rises around me. If I infuse him with this, he'll writhe in pain. Simply injecting the Een Soul Ghost Incantation, which has the opposite nature of anti-devilish energy, is not an option. The essence of Een Soul Ghost Incantation is pain, and regardless of whether it suits the ghost or not, this creature would be overwhelmed by agony. After pondering for a moment, I transform the Een Soul Ghost Incantation into spiritual power and infuse the Ghost King with the Een spiritual power. At the same time, I begin to cultivate the Ghost King's mind by manipulating the Een spiritual power in the manner of the White Orchid Blessing Incantation. TSTSTSTST. After a while, the Ghost King, who had been screaming terribly, gradually reduces his wails and smacks his lips. Are you alright? You seem off. It seems that because cultivating the mind with the power of Een is new to me, it resulted in some strange effects. Rather than cultivating the mind, it feels like I've hypnotized him. Can you please say something? Something. Damn. As I mutter a curse under my breath, the Ghost King suddenly begins to cry profusely. I'm sorry, so sorry. I've been rude. So rude to the noble one. So sorry. Stop crying. What's going on? I ask, trying to get some coherent speech from the Ghost King, whose eyes have regained some clarity. The Ghost King replies to my question. Noble one. What do you ask of me? Why does everyone run away when they see me? Because you are the noble one. Please, do not take us to the netherworld. Did you also stutter like this in life? Frustrated by the Ghost King's trembling and stuttering speech, I ask him directly. The Ghost King shakes his head with tears in his eyes. And no, it wasn't like this. When lesser ghosts like us meet a great ghost such as yourself, we mostly lose our reason. You lose your reason? Yes, it is true. As I inject more Een spiritual power and surround his soul, he begins to speak more clearly. It's the essence of the ghost path method. The more ghostly energy one accumulates and the clearer one perceives the netherworld, the stronger a ghost one becomes. And the stronger the ghost, the easier it is to command lesser ghosts. When a strong ghost is near, weaker ghosts lose their intellect, their reason blurs, and only their instincts remain, forcing them to either submit or flee. Finally, I understand why even the Ghost Kings, all at least of nascent soul stage, failed to keep their composure upon seeing me and fled in a complete panic. Wait a minute. I once met a lingering soul of a grand elder from Black Ghost Valley named Songjin. However, he did not have any mental issues upon seeing me. As I speak, I realize that when I met Songjin, I was not as marked by death as I am now. If the lingering soul of the Black Ghost Valley's grand elder was fine upon seeing the noble one, it could be one of two things. Now the Ghost King seems completely hypnotized, speaking in a dazed voice as if intoxicated by the Een Soul Ghost Incantation I had melted into spiritual power. Though called a lingering soul, it was either a living being's split soul or connected to the Nether Crossing ship. Was it because of the Nether Crossing ship? The Nether Crossing ship seems to have quite a few functions beyond just spatial transmission. I asked the Ghost King while looking at him. So, everyone runs away because they see me as a great ghost? Correct. Is the noble one not perhaps a Rakshasa or a Yaksha? Maybe even an Asura or a Yama from the netherworld? Has a death god from the netherworld themselves descended upon Black Ghost Valley? No, I'm not one of those. What do you mean? Please do not regard us Ghost Kings as mere lowly spirits. While we may not understand the essence of death as the immortal seats, Shenzhou, we are still souls who have walked the path of cultivation and have perceived the netherworld. It seems that Ghost King, is a term indicating a ghost soul that can perceive the netherworld, regardless of their level. You misunderstand. I have just entered Black Ghost Valley as a disciple, and I am a living being, not a great ghost. If you are not someone who has attracted the gaze of the god of the netherworld from the deepest depths of the afterlife, you could not possibly possess such a great death around you. You jest that you can do this in a living body. The Noble One must be one of the high-ranking death gods who serve the god of the netherworld. Please do not chastise us too harshly for not following our prescribed fates to the netherworld and are still pathetically remaining in this earthly realm. We are merely building great mausoleums and arks, Feng, for our descendants and waiting for the natural cycle of the heavens. Even under the influence of the Ean's spiritual power, he seems overwhelmed by my presence and begins to reveal things he hadn't been asked about. Even though that madman destroyed all 12 nether crossing ships of the Bright Cold Realm Division 120,000 years ago, we have brought the nether crossing ships from the head realm, so collecting souls from the middle realm at the end of times will not be a problem. The great immortals of the netherworld must also find it convenient to just leave us be. Please do not destroy Black Ghost Valley. The Ghost King, mistaking me for a death god that came to punish Black Ghost Valley for defying death, begins sobbing and begging for forgiveness for Black Ghost Valley. Not knowing what else to do, I release the crying Ghost King. It seems true that ghosts lose their reasoning when meeting a higher level ghost. As soon as he is freed from my Ean's spiritual power, he seems to forget the conversation we just had and begins to rave. Hiya, it's a great ghost. A great ghost. Hiya, just like that. The one who spoke as such quickly flees to somewhere in the Great Tomb domain, and I grab my throbbing head. Damn, it's chaos everywhere. I furrow my brows at the sudden developments on my main body's side. What is this? I had just secured a cave residence in Heavenly Human Island and sent a message to John Myung-hoon to come here, when I received a letter that made me furrow my brows. Y. Ryang-sian, who delivered the letter to me, clicks his tongue and says, "First, it's a letter sent by someone called the Ark-controlling envoy of the True Dragon Alliance from the Earth Tribe. Why would that person send this to me? Well, I wouldn't know. Think hard about any grudges you might have incited." I sigh as I receive the death threat letter in front of me. The letter is filled with a grudge as thick as the dragon's blood it was written in. The handwriting alone is enough to give one chills. That damned Seo Huiol. It seems he had somehow communicated who had killed him to Gurion. I will kill you as soon as possible. Wait for it. This is driving me insane. I grab my head as I read the letter from Gurion. Chapter 289, my name is 6. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. To send a letter like this to Senior Y implies, yes, she knows that you've been appointed as a grand cultivator of the human race. Moreover, this information comes from spies we have among the Earth Tribe. Y. Ryang-sian begins to explain as he takes a jade slip out of a storage scroll. Recently, there's information that a dragon king has emerged from the dragon race. They're keeping it quiet for now to use at a critical moment, but it's likely that Gurion, who's become the dragon king, is challenging you now that you've also become a grand cultivator. Considering that the Ark-controlling envoy Gurion achieved the Grand Perfection 4-axis stage at just 10,000 years old, she certainly has the qualifications. Gurion as the Dragon King. I recall her from a previous life. Even without fully being at the integration stage, the power of the beams she emitted from her mouth was quite immense. Right, it was just to that extent. I think I can handle her. It would be somewhat frightening if it was Seo Huiol who reached the integration stage with a genuine Orthodox Axis foundation, but Gurion. Not scary. I'm sorry to Gurion, but purely from a combat perspective, she's about the same or slightly below Y. Ryang-sian. Y. Ryang-sian, after all, was originally not trained in combat-focused methods and is arguably one of the weakest integration stage cultivators within the human race Grand Alliance. Compared to such weakest, she isn't very strong in her current state. Of course, as part of the dragon race, if she stabilizes her cultivation and gains experience after reaching the early integration stage, who knows? But in her current state, she isn't frightening at all. And what puzzles me most is that she herself must know this. Sending me the letter means she knows I'm a grand cultivator, and that means she must have heard about what I've been doing since I entered Heavenly Human Island these past few weeks, doesn't it? That's right. It's likely that the dragon race has also heard all the commotion through the moles they've planted among the human race. They know all about your combat power and potential. My noisy deeds have already spread far and wide among the Heaven Tribe. I grinded the Heaven-Earth Palace inspectors into dust, killed Seo Huiol in one strike, and faced Y. Ryang-sian directly within his domain and defeated him. The Earth Tribe, too, must have passed along such information through their spies within the Heaven Tribe, and yet they still threaten me. What could be the reason? Because of Seo Huiol? If it involves Seo Huiol, it's perfectly probable for her to go crazy. If it's not Seo Huiol, in my past life, She gave me a chance to explain and argue my motives despite openly betraying her, showing her rational side. If Seo Huiol did something and conveyed it to her, Gurion would have flipped. Then, this incident must be a move by Seo Huiol. I'm getting a headache from the complicated situation. Is Seo Huiol alive or dead? I dispersed his soul and scattered the heavenly circle and earthly bearings to ensure his death. Seeing Gurion enraged by Seo Huiol's death confirms he is indeed dead. But it's too coincidental. What if Gurion goes berserk and charges at me, and I end up killing her? Assuming Seo Huiol is alive, he'd want to shake her off, and that would achieve what he wants. Seo Huiol is definitely dead. I severed his soul pathway and completely blocked even the attempt to resurrect. Yet hearing about Gurion, the illusion of Seo Huiol making a move with his damned smile passes before my eyes. Snake-like bastard. Although I hate to imagine it, I decide to assume that Seo Huiol is not dead. If he is alive, what would benefit him and what would harm him? Benefiting him would be killing Gurion. Then what would harm him? Thank you for delivering the letter, Senior Y. I'll handle Gurion later. If it feels too dangerous, quickly pull back. You are the future of the human race. The Grand Alliance leader is pouring resources into making sure you reach the 4-axis stage. So if there's something you want to do, just let us know. Yes, I understand. I am currently at the Human Race Grand Alliance's Heavenly Human Island. I am being protected at a cave residence within Heavenly Cauldron Mountain. Lately, Integration Stage Grand Cultivators have been frequenting my cave residence every day, imparting the intricacies and enlightenment of the 4-axis stage, urging me to reach it soon, and gifting me with all sorts of spiritual liquid, spiritual pills, and spiritual fruits as they leave. 4-axis stage. Having just risen from Grand Perfection Nascent Soul to Grand Perfection Heavenly Being, it isn't just a dream to rise to the 4-axis stage once I am fully prepared. Everyone is curious about how strong I will become once I reach the 4-axis stage, given that I am already producing integration-level power at the Heavenly Being stage. Among them, the Grand Alliance leader Jun Jie is searching for a special type of spiritual liquid called Clear Peace Tears, Feng, to help with the promotion from Heavenly Being to 4-axis. If I reach the 4-axis stage, even Han 1 won't be so terrifying. Of course, considering Han 1's power, it won't be easy even at the 4-axis stage, but at least I won't die helplessly like last time. I watch Wei Rang Xian leaving my cave residence and smile bitterly. Talking about spies this and spies that, it seems I'm really becoming one. Though I'm grateful for the Grand Cultivator's intentions to help me reach the 4-axis stage, I have to move to counteract Seo Huiol's plans. The most damaging action to Seo Huiol will probably be bringing in the Mad Lord. I immediately set a goal. I'll summon Oh Hyun-suk to the Bright Cold Realm as soon as possible, end the Human Devil Great War, ensure that Azure Tiger Saint doesn't die, and then go look for Kim Yeon. Kidnapping Kim Yeon and tipping off the Mad Lord that Seo Huiol is preparing for a marriage and that he should head to the True Dragon Alliance would make him ecstatic. The Black Dragon King Hyen Uem wouldn't dare intervene in the Human Devil Great War if that madman starts bombing the headquarters of the True Dragon Alliance. It's uncertain whether Seo Huiol is truly dead or not. But having died a gruesome death by my hand once, and having mobilized Gurion using his death as an excuse, Seo Huiol can't openly move as long as Gurion is alive. Then, during the time Seo Huiol can't act openly, I have a lot of things I can do. In this life, while Seo Huiol can't come to the forefront, I set another goal. Considering Kim Young-hoon is in the Ancient Force realm, there's nothing I can do about that. Oh Hyeseo is probably doing well on her own, not my concern. Excluding those two, John Myung-hoon, Kong Min-hee, Oh Hyun-suk, Kim Yeon. I will try to arrange for these 4 colleagues to meet once again. That is the new goal. John Myung-hoon is easy since he's with the original body. Oh Hyun-suk can be met once the Human Devil Great War is resolved, and Kim Yeon can be seen again if kidnapped from the Mad Lord. That leaves Kong Min. This makes Seo Lee's role important. I sigh while receiving the emotions of my original body deep within the Grand Toon domain of Black Ghost Valley. Damn it, whether it's Kong Min-hee or whatever, don't I need to accept a Ghost King to do something? These Ghost Kings, always running away, just make me sigh continuously. What should I do? As I ponder, suddenly, my thoughts reach the Een Soul Ghost incantation. Thinking about it, when I covered the Ghost King with the Een Soul Ghost incantation, didn't it seem like the Ghost King couldn't feel its fear towards me as if it was hypnotized? Then, if I cover my body with the Een Soul Ghost incantation, would the sense of death the Ghost Kings feel lighten a bit? I have to test it right away. TSDSSDS. I unleash countless curse spells, covering my entire body in pain. SSSSSSS. My whole body is enveloped in dark curses. Despite the tingling pain, I realize something has changed in the atmosphere of the Grand Tomb domain. It worked. As expected, it was resolved with a fairly simple method. Kagugugu. The Grand Tomb domain trembles, and from afar, countless ghost kings surge like a wave. Damn it. Why did I leave my tomb and go to another area? Did you do that too, Hyungnim? Seems like everyone did. Maybe we were all bewitched by something. It's something even a ghost would lament. I can't remember what happened at all. Unlike earlier, when they were screaming in utter panic, the ghost kings now return in a much more rational state, flying around. And it's when the ghost kings approach above me. Huh, are you a disciple of the Black Ghost Valley? I reply to them politely. I am the new Een Soul disciple Seoli. I greet the elders of Black Ghost Valley. My voice, covered in cursed spells, resounds deeply and vibrates through the space. At this sight, the surrounding ghost kings are noticeably startled. Wait, that thing covering your body. Are those cursal? Impossible? How can a single person create curses so dense that not even water could leak through? Isn't that amount of curses only possible with a great formation? You? What sorcery have you used? Is it a marvel even to the ghost kings of the Grand Tomb domain? Apparently, spewing out as many cursed spells as the sea with the Een Soul ghost incantation isn't an easy feat. It's when numerous ghost kings are murmuring around me. You, what kind of sorcery is this? Did you not hear me ask? One ghost king looks down at me angrily and shouts. I look back at him, making eye contact with one of the ghost kings at the level of the heavenly being stage. This is the Een Soul ghost incantation of the Black Ghost Valley. What? Then that ghost king shouts even more furiously. How dare you lie to a respected figure of the sect? Stop talking nonsense. Speak the truth. Have you not utilized a special Dharma treasure, or are you connected to some curse-forming formation outside the Grand Tomb domain? The ghost king glares at me, his eyes rolling back, and I lift the curse in my hand and say, if you doubt it, why don't you take a look? The curse spell created by this junior is indeed the Een Soul ghost incantation. Continuing to lie to the end. The ghost king shivers with rage as he approaches me, and then looks at the Een Soul ghost incantation. How long has he stared at the Een Soul ghost incantation? It can't be, don't lie. The ghost king speaks, his voice trembling. The Een Soul ghost incantation. It ends at 108. It was designed to end with 108. Feeling the peculiarity of his tone, I ask, how can you so readily judge the limits of a method? I, this disciple, have a slight talent for curses, so I just made a few more curse spells. Are you saying you really modified the Een Soul ghost incantation like that? Not a modification per se. Shut up. Don't make me laugh. What was all the effort of our faction for then? You, continuing to lie to a respected figure of the sect, deserve to be punished without a word. The ghost king suddenly bursts in fury and stretches out a dark ghost claw, grabbing my body forcefully. I flinch in surprise and try to push him away. Wait, elder. You shouldn't touch there. Quiet, you scoundrel. For insulting me and my lineage. No, wait. But he relentlessly scratches off the curse spells covering my body with his ghost claw, and finally, the curses covering my body are peeled off. Damn it. At the same time, my soul reappears in the Grand Tomb domain. And then, kayak, hi-yak. The ghosts begin to go mad again. It's a great ghost. We're going to be eaten. Run away. Hi-yak. Dozens, perhaps hundreds of ghost kings flee all at once, and the ghost king who had been tearing apart my curses also loses his mind and begins to rave madly before fleeing. Crack. Feeling the veins on my forehead pop, I reach out towards the ghost king who caused his mess. Quararuru. A wave of black curse spells transform into a giant hand and grab the ghost king. Kayawayak. Having not kindly transformed the Een Soul ghost incantation into Een spiritual power, the ghost king screams in pain. Yet, even while screaming in pain, his fear of me seems to dilute, and he begins to utter other words that are not ghostly shrieks. Kayak, kayak, hayak. Oh, great one. Have you evolved the humble secret art of our lineage? The death god of the netherworld has lifted the possibilities of our humble secret art, the Een Soul ghost incantation. Words cannot express the joy I feel. Please allow me to repay this grace. Listening to him, I can discern what type of ghost king he is. I will serve you. I will devote myself to you. I return, to thee, my lord. Please take me in as your servant. Intoxicated by the Een Soul ghost incantation I created, he staggers forward with his eyes glazed over, moving his dark, ghostly body, clasping his hands together and kneeling down. I return to thee. I return to thee. I return to thee. You? I asked the ghost king with a scoff. Could it be? Are you the originator of the Een Soul ghost incantation? The Een Soul ghost incantation is the starting point of the curse method developed by our lineage. It is a chi building method, created by our ancestor who passed away at the grand perfection chi building stage. My grandfather received it, and then made it into a core formation curse method. My father adapted it into a nascent soul stage curse method, and in my generation, I finally succeeded in creating a separate heavenly being stage curse method. Indeed, he is a ghost soul from a lineage within the Black Ghost Valley that specialized in researching curse methods. The Een Soul Ghost Incantation handles 108 curse spells. The Core Formation method handles 500 curse spells. The Nascent Soul method handles 1080 curse spells. And the Heavenly Being method handles 3,000 curse spells. But I have never heard or seen such a vast number of curse spells that the Noble One can handle. Surely it must be a divine technique possible only for a distinguished noble of the Netherworld. He bows even deeper to me, shedding icy tears as he pleads. Please take in this lowly servant. Allow me to return to thee. I shall serve you. Eventually, I decide to accept this Ghost King, who earnestly requests to serve me. Have you all decided on which Ghost Kings you will serve from now on? Excluding myself, the bald tattooed man, the corpse-like man, the woman in mourning clothes, and Hio Namquan all nod with pale faces. Looking closely, dark energy is embedded within them. It seems they had all decided to serve at least Ghost Kings of the Heavenly Being stage. Eub Yun looks at me, who didn't nod, and asks, "How about you, Sir Sio?" I also nod awkwardly. Well, I decided for now. It isn't me serving, but rather that I had chosen a Ghost King who will serve me. Anyway, the decision was made. Within my golden core, I sensed the Ghost King sitting demurely next to my nascent soul. Hey, Bai Yul, Boisub. Yes, my lord. Did you call me? Why is it that everyone was causing such a fuss inside the Grand Tomb domain, but it's quiet inside the shrine? It is because the flesh, robe, that you, my lord, are wearing conceals your true essence. In the Grand Tomb domain, the essence of the soul is revealed, so everyone was granted the grace to see my lord's true essence. But outside the Grand Tomb domain, one cannot recklessly see the essence. The Ghost King who came to serve me is named Bai Yul. After swearing allegiance to me, he settled in my golden core and continuously received the spiritual power of the Een Soul Ghost Incantation. While half regaining his senses, Bai Yul swore to wholeheartedly support and assist me. Now that it seems everyone has chosen a Ghost King to serve, I will guide you to the method repository. We follow Eub Yun out of the shrine and move to another space within the Nether Crossing ship. After a while, we are able to stand in front of a library marked Nether Crossing Repository. Sir Repository Keeper, I am Eub Yun, the disciple of Entry Hall's Beck Jean. Please allow us entry. Then a voice comes from inside the repository. Eub Yun and the 10 with you may enter. It seems that the voice includes even the Ghost Kings within us. We enter the repository and are able to see the face of the repository keeper. And, upon seeing him, I'm startled. Song Jin. He greatly resembles Song Jin, showing his appearance during his lifetime. Welcome. I am Song Gil, the repository keeper of Black Ghost Valley. In this valley, it is customary for masters to be assigned to disciples below the level of Ghost Soul, and the masters recommend methods to their disciples. However, Een Soul disciples and onwards are given the opportunity to choose their own methods. Everyone, wander around the repository and choose one method each. You will be given 1 meal time as the limit. I pause to look at Song Gil's face, then start walking deeper into the method repository. He must be Song Jin's brother. I consider acknowledging him, but then I decide against it. After all, Song Jin is doing well in the ancient force realm with Seo Ran, so there's no real need to mention it. My lord, may I recommend a method that would be suitable for you? I ponder Bai Yul's words for a moment and then nod. After all, he would know the methods of Black Ghost Valley better. Yes, then please follow me to the locations I describe. I will recommend methods that my lord is likely to favor. After a while, I end up selecting 7 volumes of methods recommended by Bai Yul. The methods are as follows. Silver Basket Devil Technique, Yinlan Mogong. Purple Yang Mad Devilish Art, Jiang Gong Mogong. Corpse Devouring Secret Ritual Tome, Shrishu Mi Liba. Serene Soul True Secrets, Anhun Junjue. Yama Secret Inheritance Will, Yan Mo Mi, Chanyi. Expending Soul True Devil Method, Foyan Jun Mogong. Ghost Immortal Kue Devil Secrets, Guri Shankori Mojue. Whichever method you choose from these, it will be the most fitting for my lord. Please enjoy selecting one. Chapter 290, My Name is 7. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 290, My Name is 7. TSTS. I accelerate my consciousness, linking Bai Yul through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon to draw him into my accelerated mental world. Explain the methods. Bai Yul begins to explain the methods one by one. The Silver Basket Devil Technique is an ancient devilish art from the primeval era. Its origin so ancient it's untraceable. It is said if mastered, one can even manifest the domain of the integration stage at the Heavenly Being stage. However, its origins are unknown, and it is said that it is connected to some ancient being. Rejected. I interrupt by Yul and erase the silver basket devil technique from my mind. Connected to an ancient being and origins unknown? It's highly likely to be connected to true immortals like the Mount Tai Splitting Emperor technique or the Red Lightning Heavenly Tribulation method. The Mount Tai Splitting Emperor technique is something I intend to obtain, not to learn, but to interpret the writings I acquired in the head realm, and I have no plans to directly connect with a suspicious entity. Yes. Next, the Purple Yang Mad Devilish art is particularly outstanding in offensive power. It allows for much faster cultivation, speeding up the advancement of cultivation by tens of times, and possesses strong Yang force, making it a natural predator to Yin-based methods, and even reducing the damage from other Yang-based attacks. This sounds quite appealing, especially since there's no mention of sacrificing anyone, and particularly because the cultivation speed is tens of times faster, which is a significant advantage for someone ordinary like me. However, there is a very, very minor side effect. What is it? First, the strong emergence of Yang force in the method causes the skin to turn purple. So that's why it's called Purple Yang? Yes, that's correct. And secondly, there's another side effect. Changing skin color is not a big deal. Having purple skin might look bizarre at first, but there are many ways to handle it. The Purple Yang Mad Devilish art stimulates the upper dantian, causing hair loss. The creator added a ritualistic meaning to this. Having hair actually weakens the effectiveness of the method. In other words, you become bald. Purple skin and being bald. Thinking it over, I feel I can endure that far. And third, you're saying there's another side effect? Since it is a Yang cultivating method, it causes an extreme surge of sexual desire due to the extreme Yang nature boiling within the body. I sigh silently. If sexual desire boils over, dealing with people like Zhongli could become troublesome. With my willpower, I can withstand the lust. However, if an enemy like Zhongli starts to amplify sexual desires on purpose, it will be difficult to resist. It can't be helped. If I can endure it somehow, even if it means castrating myself. The fourth side effect. I glance at Bayul as he continues with the side effects. Was this method recommended because it has so many side effects? The Purple Yang Mad Devilish art is a celibate practice. If any form of essence is expelled, you will lose all your spiritual power and become crippled. In short, purple skin and head turning bald regardless of what one does. With boiling sexual desire. Yet if you expel essence, you become crippled because it's a celibate method. Thus, it is said that those who practice the Purple Yang Mad Devilish art gradually turn mad due to unexpelled sexual desire and become mad devils. Kongmo. Why would you recommend this to me? Because the Noble One is a distinguished being from the netherworld, and it is impossible for someone of the Noble One's stature to be dominated by mere sexual desire. I sigh inwardly, unseen by Bayul. If I truly was an incarnation of a death god from the netherworld, there'd be nothing to worry about, but I still can't maintain my sanity around Zhongli without castrating myself. And even if I do castrate myself, since lust and spiritual power are related in the Purple Yang Mad Devilish art, casually removing parts could lead to a significant loss of spiritual power. I reject it. Yes, understood. Next is the Corpse Devouring Secret Ritual Tome. Just hearing the title, Corpse Devouring, makes me frown. Is this, by chance, a method involving eating corpses? Yes, that is correct. Reject it. But it's really a powerful devilish art. Enough. Next. Understood. Then, the Serene Soul True Secrets is an evolved method deriving from the two basic cultivation methods of Black Ghost Valley, the Ghost Guiding True Scripture, Jinjing, and the Pacifying Soul Art, Anhungo. My lord is aware that the basis of the ghost path includes consoling the spirits, weighing, and pacifying the soul. Right? Well, I know that much, but I want to understand your perspective, so explain. It's an honor. Dealing with ghosts essentially involves a kind of contract. The core basis of controlling ghost souls is the promise to help them move on to the netherworld, while the Pacifying Soul Art performs rituals to show the ghost souls the way to the netherworld. The Serene Soul True Secrets go further by offering rituals that comfort the soul's pain and emotions. As I listen to the explanation, I realize something. Serene Soul True Secrets is not a devilish art. Yes, it is solely for deeper communion with ghosts, a kind of consciousness method. I like the fact that it isn't a devilish art. However, in terms of utility, Serene Soul True Secrets is an inferior substitute for the wonderfully mysterious Innate Heart Canon. It might be slightly better than the wonderfully mysterious Innate Heart Canon in terms of communion with ghosts, but it's completely inferior in other aspects. Since controlling ghosts is sufficiently managed with just the Een Soul Ghost incantation as it is now, there's no real need for more. It's a method redundant like a chicken rib, so I feel no need to learn it. Reject it. Next is the Yama Hidden Inheritance Well. It's a devilish art that calls upon the power of Yama, one of the judges and death gods of the netherworld. Rejected. Next is the expending soul true devil method. It absorbs wandering souls into the body, leaving only the minimal soul necessary for sending them back to the netherworld while consuming the soul essence for tremendous power. Rejected. As I reject every method suggested, Bayul seems to shrink back, lacking confidence as he reluctantly offers the last recommended devilish art. The last is the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. It is a method where one gathers ghostly energy, causing their nascent soul to undergo Ghost King transformation, slowly refining oneself into a ghostly being. As I listen to the details of the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets, I frown. Isn't Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets also a method that grows stronger by consuming soul essence? While it does absorb some of the soul essence, unlike the expending soul true devil method, which consumes the soul essence itself, this method primarily absorbs the death energy accumulated around the soul essence. In other words, since my lord is already surrounded by the energy of death, there's no need to consume soul essence directly. There is just the very minor side effect of being somewhat more difficult, but for my lord from the netherworld, that shouldn't be a concern. Interesting. Then, it can be considered more of a regular cultivation method than a devilish art. I realize that of all the recommended methods, Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets is the most appealing to me. In addition, it's a method that can reach the 4-axis stage. I release the acceleration of my consciousness and pick up the scripture for Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets that Bayul recommended. I then head to find the repository keeper Song Gil and hand him the scripture. I will go with this. Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets? Song Gil looks puzzled. Is there a problem? Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. Due to its extreme difficulty, it is a method that is discouraged. Certainly, it boasts powerful effects if mastered, but it's not highly recommended. That's fine. Please give it to me. Well, do as you like. However, once you've chosen Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets, the method cannot be changed and you'll need to accumulate over 100 points of merit in Black Ghost Valley to re-enter the depository next time. Do you understand? I'll keep that in mind. After selecting our methods, we leave the library. Eub Yun is waiting for us, and once we are all outside, he begins to explain. Now that everyone is here, let me explain our sect's merit system. His explanation continues. The merit point system is adopted by many cultivation sections. By completing tasks for the sect, you are awarded merit points, which can be used to access the sect's repository, utilize the features of the Nether Crossing ship, or seek teachings from the Ghost Kings. Moreover, seniors are required to perform sect tasks at least once every 10 years. You can receive assignments for these tasks at the duty hall, and I recommend you visit there. After giving us a few more explanations, Eub Yun bids us farewell. Then, this concludes the orientation to Black Ghost Valley. I hope all the seniors become prominent figures of our sect. Farewell. After he finishes speaking, he turns into a stream of black smoke and flies towards the Nether Crossing ship. The 5 of us scatter, each exploring either our cave residences or various parts of the Nether Crossing ship, and I ask Bayul to find the place called the Duty Hall. The merit system. I recall that the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect had something similar. However, John Myung-hoon and I were exempted as the future of the sect. In the Azure Heaven Creation sect, merit points weren't a thing. It was purely based on strength. You could gain access to the sect's facilities by wrestling and winning against the librarian, or by defeating seniors in duels. At the Sea Dragon Palace, I emptied Seo Huiol's vault, so I never felt any inconvenience in training, and I naturally needed nothing when living as a puppet under the Mad Lord. Thus, experiencing such a system is new to me. Upon arriving at the duty hall, the sounds of ghostly wails fill the air. Minor spirits are fluttering around muttering something, and upon listening closely, they are all discussing missions. Sensing the presence of the Bayul within me, the minor spirits shiver and tremble as I enter the duty hall. However, they don't flee in complete panic as if they are somehow magically brainwashed. My lord, would you like to take on a mission? I want to see what missions are available. Understood. I will assist to make it easier for my lord to browse. Wriggle, wriggle. Bayul raises his head above my shoulder and shouts loudly within the duty hall. Come here. At the commanding, ghostly tone of a heavenly being stage ghost king, all the minor spirits that had been roaming around chanting tasks flocked towards us. At this sight, all eyes of the Black Ghost Valley disciples choosing tasks in various parts of the duty hall turned towards us. What's with that guy? The ghostly cry just now, a heavenly being stage ghost king? He commands a heavenly being level ghost king? Could he be a Black Grand Elder? That can't be. He must be a New Een Soul disciple. New Een Soul disciples have to serve a ghost king for about half a year before they earn their own ghosts or guardians. It's just a phase. It seems that the ghost king he's serving is quite benevolent. taking the effort to gather spirits for his junior. Though they notice by Yul and don't say anything outright, I can see the intent behind their glances. Everyone seems to look down on me. It seems everyone here harbors at least a nascent soul stage ghost king within them. It's evident that, unlike me who had brought over a ghost king by begging at the shrine, they had nurtured their own ghost kings with strong bonds. Those must be ghost path companions, ghost persons. The primary souls that the disciples of Black Ghost Valley typically command are called ghost path companions or ghost persons. These are spirits that grow alongside the disciples, aiding their cultivation in the ghost path method. I observed them briefly behind the black devil mask before no longer paying them any mind and listening to the spirits instead. Deliver a letter to a heavenly being cultivator on Heavenly Human Island, 5 merit points. Go hunting on Jabu Island and collect demon cores, 15 merit points. Establish a Black Ghost Valley branch among the Heaven tribe. Exemption from mandatory tasks for 1,000 years, 60,000 merit points. I browsed through the missions. The higher the difficulty of the mission, the greater the reward. The mission with the highest merit points involves going to one of the Heaven tribes, the Celestial Wing race, incorporating them, and establishing a branch of the Black Ghost Valley composed of them. It exempts the mandatory tasks every 10 years for 1,000 years and offers 60,000 merit points. In other words, it's a mission that requires at least 1,000 years of hardship. I have no interest in struggling with local forces in the territory of the Celestial Wing race, so I immediately lose interest and look at other missions. Meanwhile, a ghost mutters something that catches my attention. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect is looking for a cursed sorcerer to assist with a task, 400 merit points. Given the substantial merit points and it being an area of my expertise, I reach out to the spirit repeating that task. Co Lee is adapting well to Black Ghost Valley. Once he gets a bit more accustomed, I plan to use him to look for Kong Mini. Well then, maybe it's time I make a move too. Swoosh. I use the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts to slip out of Heavenly Cauldron Mountain unnoticed by the other grand cultivators. A few days later, I arrive at the entrance to the True Devil Realm. In the current Human-Devil Great War, the human forces are being pushed back by the True Devil Realm's grand cultivators. However, the humans are preparing a garbage plan known as the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation, a move intended to inflict maximum damage on the Devil Realm before retreating. I can't let that happen. The reason for preparing such a trashy plan like the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation is simple. They must think they have a way out. Even if they inflict tremendous damage on the True Devil Realm, they think it's fine as long as they can escape to the Bright Cold Realm. There is only one way to deal with this. I'll make sure they can't return. I pull out Co Huiol's face from my storage scroll and cover my own with it. Then, I release the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts right in front of the entrance to the True Devil Realm. I'll close the entrance to the True Devil Realm. I won't close it completely. I plan to make it so that with enough force, they can reopen it from the other side. Closing the entrance to the True Devil Realm means they can't activate plans like the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation because there's no retreat. Moreover, the Black Dragon King Hyen would not be able to enter the True Devil Realm through this entrance to threaten Oh Hyunsuk, nor will Azure Tiger Saint be able to cross over. Furthermore, by causing trouble while wearing Co Huiol's face, I can instill profound hostility in the human race towards Co Huiol. Lastly, if news of Co Huiol's survival reaches Gurion's ears, her anger towards me will also significantly decrease. It's a strategy that kills 5 birds with 1 stone. Take that, Co Huiol. Who goes there? The 4-axis stage cultivators guarding the entrance to the True Devil Realm ask warily as they suddenly notice me. Covering myself with the aura of an immortal beast, I disguise myself as if I am a member of the demon race. In this state, I mimic Co Huiol's calm and relaxed voice. My name is Co Huiol. Kuguguguk. A white mist-like power along with demonic power envelopes my hand, forming the shape of a dragon claw. I am the Grand Prince of the Sea Dragon race. The entrance to the True Devil Realm trembles as if it will shatter. Translator notes, I'm not really too sure what the Kuei means in Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. Kuei can be referring to one of the 28 lunar mansions in Chinese astronomy. However, Kuei, is a character composed from the component da, meaning big. It's been used to describe being in tight spaces, and interestingly, da kind of looks like a person spreading out their limbs. So, the Kuei might be referring to the soul that's confined in the physical body becoming free by transforming into a ghost or something of that sort. Chapter 291, Avenger 1. Translator, Translating Novice. Editor, Z0rel. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Kurung. Damn it. How can the Earth Tribe have such a force? Do you think you can get away with this? Aren't you afraid of the Heaven Tribe's bounty? A bounty from the Heaven Tribe. Sorry, but this was authorized by the Black Dragon King. I say with a smirk. As the Black Dragon King has entered the True Devil Realm, the entrance to the True Devil Realm must first be cleared for the true plan our dragon race has been preparing to begin. Quong. The dragon claw swings around. At the same time, the cultivators at the 4-axis stage guarding the entrance to the True Devil Realm rush at me, spitting blood, yet fiercely charging towards me. This guy is using poison alone. I smile as I scatter my own poison and let the 4-axis stage cultivator who is trying to inject me with his poison rush toward me. Quong. Our fists collide, and I intentionally create an opening for his poison to seep into me. Even though the poison weakens my strength, I am still capable enough to handle 2 of them. I quickly press them, bursting one of their bodies. Quong. He dies on the spot, and I make sure his soul can't be resurrected by seizing it as it tries to pass through the soul's pathway. Then, as I am about to deliver the final blow to the one skilled in poison arts. Cuck. Art. I pretend to have a poison attack, faking a mistake and letting their souls escape. I killed both bodies, but I allowed resurrection. I act desperate and shout, "Damn it! No! If I let a witness escape." Pat it. The souls of the cultivators fly away through the soul plane somewhere, and I stop and grin. With this, even the Heaven Tribe will be confused, right? Not all members of the Heaven Tribe are fools. They wouldn't just believe someone who openly shows their face and plots something. It's more likely they would think someone is framing Seo Huiol by impersonating him. But by removing the witnesses and destroying the evidence, the Heaven Tribe can't completely dismiss the possibility that it was really Seo Huiol. The human race side will probably strongly protest against the Earth Tribe soon, and put out a bounty on Seo Huiol. Then, Gurion would notice. That Seo Huiol isn't just dead. If she learns that I spoke today about a relationship with the Black Dragon King using Seo Huiol's face, there's a good chance she will hold on to hope. Considering Seo Huiol's cunning, there's a real chance he isn't dead, so it's not entirely a lie. Recalling the 15th cycle when Seo Huiol had Yuan Yu monitor me from start to finish, I suddenly get goosebumps. After the cultivators at the 4-axis stage died, those who had been guarding the entrance of the True Devil Realm at or below the stage of Heavenly Being had already fled. I swing the dragon claw comfortably, collapsing the entrance to the True Devil Realm as much as possible with the power of both immortal beasts and demon beasts. It isn't completely closed. If the human race inside the True Devil Realm keeps banging on the dimensional gate without paying attention to the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void formation, it will be enough to open it. The grand cultivators of the True Devil Realm won't recklessly destroy the human race just because their retreat is blocked. The Devil race thinks of the human race as a group of madmen. Having once sided with the Devil race, I know how the Devil race views the human race, so I can guess what the True Devil Realm would do. Rather than provoking them while they're cornered, they'll just blockade them and gradually tighten the encirclement. I grin and turn back towards the direction of Heavenly Cauldron Mountain. I'll ask Hong Fan to detoxify the poison and further stabilize my state at the Grand Perfection Heavenly Being stage. Just as I am pondering my next moves, boom, my transmission talisman sounds. John Myung-hoon is contacting me. What's the matter, John Myung-hoon? While rummaging through the ruins of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, I found something. What is it? It's a record made by the Supreme Sect Master after fighting Jin Wei. A record after Jin Byuk-ho fought Yun Wei. What about that record? The record mentions that, after Jin Wei was defeated, she spoke to the Supreme Sect Master about the true Orthodox Axis, and to uncover it, the Supreme Sect Master dispatched some disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect to the Nether Ghost Realm. John Myung-hoon's subsequent words inevitably startle me. I found out that the Supreme Sect Master had created a transmission Dharma treasure to communicate with the disciples he sent to the Nether Ghost Realm. Upon checking the Dharma treasure, there was a signal just 3 days ago. That means, some of the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect who were presumed lost in the Nether Ghost Realm, they are still alive. He exclaims with exhilaration in his voice. There weren't many disciples sent to the Nether Ghost Realm. Maybe 4 or 5 at most. But it seems that to John Myung-hoon, these disciples represent more than just numbers. Such a strong reaction for just 4 or 5 disciples. I'm more interested in the information about the true Orthodox Axis the disciples discovered than them themselves. With that, I can get closer to Seo Huiol's secrets and surpass him. Furthermore, the true Orthodox Axis will undoubtedly be much stronger than the usual Orthodox or Heterodox Axis, potentially raising my power significantly. Wait, what's this? Something feels off. While I'm pondering this, I suddenly feel a sense of unease. Having applied for a mission to support the mystical scaled fish commanding sect from the duty hall, entered my cave residence and frowned. Something feels off about the main body. In Earth terms, it feels somewhat psychopathic. The actions like unhesitatingly taking on Seo Huiol's appearance, trying to control Gurian's actions from afar, or strangely failing to empathize with John Myung-hoon's words. It feels like something is suddenly missing. Did Seo Huiol, that snake, do something? Whenever something happens, the suspects are always Seo Huiol or a true immortal. A strange feeling. Currently, the main body and I share thoughts. So if I feel something odd, the main body is aware of it. However, strangely, when turning my consciousness back to the original body, no anomaly is felt. On the contrary, the main body thinks that worrying about this in Seo Lee's body is unnecessary. I remember the time Seo Huiol brainwashed me as soon as we met. Perhaps the brainwashing I noticed then was just a diversion, and the real brainwashing was successfully done without me knowing. Yet, when I shift my consciousness to the original, it dismisses it as too far-fetched a speculation. It's unsettling. I decide to practice the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets, collecting merits in Black Ghost Valley to obtain the valley's consciousness methods. Maybe by gathering and learning these consciousness methods, I can determine whether there's something wrong with the main body or if I'm just being paranoid. After repeatedly exhaling and inhaling spiritual energy, I gradually feel black energy enveloping my body. After a while, black energy gathers around me, forming 6 swords. The training method of the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets is as follows. First, accumulate Yin energy, then indirectly manipulate ghostly energy with Yin energy to form swords made of ghostly energy. Puckak, puckak, puckak. The swords begin to embed themselves throughout my body. Second, embed the swords made of ghostly energy into the spiritual veins throughout the body, severing the spiritual veins piece by piece. During this process, the severed spiritual veins must not be regenerated even partially. Third, as the spiritual veins gradually sever, the body enters a near-death state, and in this death-like state, it becomes aware of death. Fourth, repeat this process until familiar with the sense of death, and once accustomed, use invocations, Jing, to draw power while in the near-death state. Fifth, after accumulating some power, use that power to absorb power from the souls of other spiritual entities to practice the method. The 5th step isn't really necessary. In the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets, the power spoken of is essentially death. And for me, there is no need to extract death from other spirits. Simply drawing it from the main body is sufficient. Wawung. Puk, 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 Puk. Having driven the swords of ghostly energy into Yuan Yu's body, I sever the flow of life force. Then, I sink into that familiar feeling. The endlessly familiar death. The darkness, it's so naturally grasped in my hand. What's this? How many people are consciously aware that they are breathing while they are breathing? Probably not many. At most, people might become aware of their breath when they breathe in the air in a very clear area or gasp for breath after strenuous exercise. To that extent, breathing is a natural thing. And like breathing, I realize I am naturally enveloped in death, rendering the physical body inanimate, submerging the consciousness, and then, through invocations, separate the death wrapped around the soul and merge it with the nascent soul. Is this the end? I'm perplexed by the overly simple process. What's this? Wasn't it supposed to be extremely difficult? I asked Bayul, feeling doubtful. Bayul, who had described becoming a purple, lust-crazed, bald monster as a very, very minor side effect, had mentioned that the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets had a bit of difficulty. Naturally, the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets should have been more than just a bit difficult. Maybe the latter half of the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets suddenly becomes more difficult. I examine the latter stages of the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets. I look for something more challenging, but nothing of the sort appears. Each step seems as ordinary and peaceful as breathing. Could there be some hidden secrets I'm not aware of? Bayul, are there any hidden secrets that appear once one has mastered the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets? Hm, if there was such a thing, it would have been discovered long ago. There was a past figure who achieved great success with the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets, and even rose to the rank of Black Grand Elder. Wasn't it supposed to be extremely difficult? I'm asking because it seems to all be ordinary cultivation methods. Bayul responds with a puzzled tone. What? Which part seems like ordinary cultivation methods? Every step involves skewering the body with swords, sustaining it with ghost fire, and rotting the entire body. It's incredibly difficult. Ordinary disciples go mad from the pain when they start learning the Ghost Immortal Kuei devilish secrets. That's why mental cultivation must also be practiced alongside it. That's considered incredible difficulty? We do this every day in the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Although there is a slight difference in perspective between myself and the main body, even the main body finds it incomprehensible this time. So weak. The first, second, and third steps are problematic, but the real issue starts from the 4th step. The 5th step is comparatively easier. It's not easy for someone who has lived a lifetime as a living being to suddenly feel the power of death. No matter how close one comes to a near-death state, it's nearly impossible to handle death because they've never truly experienced death. Bayel continues to explain. That's why, even if one repeats steps 1, 2, and 3 numerous times, those without talent cannot advance to the 4th step. To move on to the 4th step, one must go through the process of dying and resurrecting several times, getting infinitely closer to death. Many spend their entire lives unable to surpass the 4th step of the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. Instead, more people properly train in the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets only after they've died and become a Ghost King. I furrow my brow, momentarily failing to understand his explanation. Isn't the 4th stage about handling the power of death and merging the nascent soul with death to become a Ghost King? Yes. And that's difficult? Yes. I'm bewildered, not realizing the steps I breeze through are considered so challenging. Is this right? Literally, it felt like moving something that was always by my side. Rather, it felt refreshing, and others find this difficult. I can't believe I had passed through the difficult stages of the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets so easily. Could this also be Xiao Huiol's trickery? In fact, given my talent akin to that of a slow-moving grub, it seems more credible that Xiao Huiol secretly helped me learn the method quickly rather than my own swift mastery. Somewhat confused for a while, I continued to manipulate death according to the intricacies of the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets, gradually transforming my nascent soul. TSSSSSD. As my nascent soul begins to turn pitch black, my eyes slowly start to slit, and my whole body becomes enveloped in black smoke and ghost fire. After a while, I open my eyes and realize that my nascent soul within my golden core had transformed into something resembling a small ghost king. Hey, Bayel. Yes, my lord. Could it be? Have I fully mastered the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets? Congratulations, my lord. Indeed, it was a method far too insufficient for a great being like yourself to master. Please forgive me for offering such an inadequate method. How long has it been since I received the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets? Even if I add up all the time since I received the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets, took on a mission at the duty hall, and returned to the cave residence to begin learning the method, it's only been about an hour. Have I mastered a method I just received within an hour? Me. Of course, the time spent learning the method was short, and I felt a significant lack of power in many areas that needed further development. Although the time I spent learning the method was short, and I still feel significantly lacking in power and have much to fill in, I can tell. I realized the essence of the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets, and I can feel that practicing it in this state will allow me to accumulate spiritual power at an incredibly fast rate. About a day after I realized I mastered the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets, I receive a notification that the mission I applied for at the mystical scaled fish commanding sect has been accepted, and I am informed of the location where I should gather for the mission. Shortly thereafter, I board a teleportation array head to the location of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect outside of the Black Ghost Valley. Pat it. Upon opening my eyes, what appears is a gigantic black palace, as large as a mountain range and resembling a dragon. The layout of the palace is constructed as if a dragon is writhing, and the words Mystical Scaled Fish Commanding Sect are written on the main gate. Outside the gate, there are hundreds of cultivators already present, each of them seemingly harboring a curse. Be cautious, my lord. HM, what is it? Over there, remnants of the Een Soul Ghost sect can be seen. They will likely attempt to curse my lord in some way once they know you're affiliated with the Black Ghost Valley. I look in the direction Bayel indicated. There, I see individuals emitting a unique energy mixed with ghostly and corpse energy. But should these remnants be roaming around so openly? It's likely because the Een Soul Ghost sect specializes in puppetry, including cursed dolls and corpse dolls. Those you see are probably not their real bodies, but cursed dolls or corpse dolls. I look at them with interest. These guys are practicing the Een Soul Ghost incantation. Yes, indeed. Bayel continues. I'm ashamed to admit, but in fact, the cursed lineage of Black Ghost Valley is heavily involved in the Een Soul Ghost sect. The methods for creating Jiangshi and cursed dolls complement each other. I see. I think I understand the feeling. I am familiar with using cursed dolls as I often used Yuanyu as one myself. Cursed dolls that regenerate and do not die are incredibly durable and boast immense utility because they never break down no matter how often used. It seems likely that they too are using Jiangshi in a similar manner, utilizing them as cursed dolls. By the way, Bayel, do you know anything about the mystical scaled fish commanding sect? For instance, why they would suddenly need curse methods? I apologize, my lord. This is also new to me. Originally, the mystical scaled fish commanding sect had nothing to do with curse techniques. However, the mystical scaled fish commanding sect occasionally issues missions or puts out bounties that seem unrelated to them. Usually, these are highly likely related to the Earth Tribe. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect conducts missions on behalf of the Earth Tribe's orders. The Earth Tribe. I ponder deeply on why the mystical scaled fish commanding sect would gather cursed sorcerers. In a dark secret room. Within the room, a water mirror made of black liquid floats in the air. In front of the water mirror, two figures sit cross-legged. Wawoom. One figure touches the water mirror and murmurs something. Shortly after, the water mirror ripples, and a man dressed in black clothes emerges above it. Greetings, Arc-controlling envoy. As you have instructed, I have gathered cursed sorcerers. However, poison cultivators are not easily found. Please understand. All right, I understand. There are a lot of poison cultivators in our Earth Tribe. Gurion, the Earth Tribe's True Dragon Alliance's Arc-controlling envoy, nods. Since we were unable to secure any poison cultivators, we must make sure to gather more cursed sorcerers. I will keep that in mind. Now, I kindly ask you to start the transmission. Here it is. Gurion takes out a piece of paper from her clothing and throws it into the water mirror. The paper depicts a man dressed in white, the new grand cultivator of the human race. Use as many cursed sorcerers as possible to cast curses on him. Her eyes slit vertically. I, too, will secure outstanding poison cultivators to prepare a lethal poison. Grinding her teeth, she glares fiercely at the figure inside the paper. Seo Eun-hyun is her target. Gathering information, this Seo Eun-hyun bastard is someone I absolutely cannot defeat with my power alone. But there are countless ways for the weak to challenge the strong, among which curses and poison are the most notorious. As for poison, there are none who can match the insect race, so I should also make contact with them. Use the cursed sorcerers to cast a curse on him. Hire poison cultivators to manufacture extreme lethal poison, then lure him into a trap and deploy it. If all goes as planned, I might have a chance at my revenge. Gurion terminates the communication with the mystical scaled fish commanding sect and steps out of the dark secret room, muttering with a venomous expression. Wait for me, my enemy. I will definitely repay this grudge. Whatever it takes. Translator notes. I forgot to mention this in chapter 289, but return has the meaning of taking refuge or devoting on self. It's often used in spiritual/religious contexts and has the meaning of returning to and depending on a higher power. In Buddhism, it can have the meaning of returning to the Buddha. Chapter 292, Avenger 2. Translator, Translating Novice. Editor, Z0rel. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. How long have I been waiting in front of the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect? When the number of cursed sorcerers gathered in front of the gate exceeds 10,000, a deep roar resonates. Wawoom. The main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect opens. Inside the open gate, a boy dressed in a black robe waits for us with a neat and composed appearance. I extend my deepest thanks to the many of you who have gathered here at the request of our sect. As those who know may know, we have previously sought out specialists in certain fields several times before. The boy continues his explanation. In fact, what we are looking for at the mystical scaled fish commanding sect are about 10 cursed sorcerers of first-rate skill or above. In other words, unfortunately, the vast majority of you who have gathered here will need to return home. At those words, voices of dissatisfaction can be heard from various places. Hey, what do you mean by that? Don't talk nonsense. I gave up a better mission to come here. I watch indifferently, arms crossed, observing how things will unfold. The boy smiles slightly, ignoring the clamor of the cursed sorcerers, and raises one finger. Those who know may know. Now, let us begin the test to see if you meet the level of cursed sorcerer we require. Kagugugu. At that moment, the silhouette of a gigantic monster appears behind the boy. This monster harbors powerful demonic power and also possesses a bizarre corpse energy, and I feel a strong sense of déjà vu from this monster. This creature's name is Bai Meep. As those who know may know, it is created by capturing fragments of vestiges, sure, from the interdimensional void, and fusing them with the corpses of creatures from the bright cold realm. They are very ferocious and difficult to kill. Moreover, because we have specially modified them, these creatures absorb curses to further enhance their physical power. As the boy speaks, he soars into the air. Wawoom. The monster named Bai supports its upper body on the ground. The ground trembles, and a tingling sense of crisis surges through the air. From now on, only those who can pass through the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect without being touched by Bai will be considered for further tasks. I wish you all good luck. The boy then disappears inside the gate, and Bai, remaining in motion, completely blocks the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect with its massive body. Damn it, is a major sect supposed to be this outrageous? I heard that if I just came, they would give me a mission. They really are going too far. How much did I spend just to get here? TCH, Eat well and live well. About 100 cursed sorcerers of dubious skill swiftly exit the venue. Those who remain seem to be somewhat confident about curses. All of their skills seem ambiguous. I click my tongue and look around. Everyone seems to possess some confidence, but it appears that most of them extemporaneously dived into curses and harbor vain hopes. These people will likely be filtered out at this gateway. There's no real need to observe something like this. I walk towards Bai silently. As I approach the gate, Bai bares its teeth and growls. Vestiges, the monsters I had seen in the interdimensional void. These creatures are apparently called vestiges. Bai raises its front paw to strike me. I walk on without care, hands clasped behind my back, lost in thought. Wawoom. Its paw rushes forward. But in the next moment, the dark curse spells I am wearing completely melt its paw. The creature screams and twists its body, while I calmly continue to dissolve Bai's body and advance. At the same time, I analyze the energy I feel from the creature. It certainly resembles those from the interdimensional void. I ask Bai Yul, do you know what vestiges are? Yes, my lord. Tell me about it. Understood. Vestiges are shells. His explanation continues. Vestiges are the shells the entering nirvana true persons, Jin, the quasi-immortals, Dingshan, must shed when undergoing ascending metamorphosis, Yihua, into true immortals. These husks are mostly discarded in the interdimensional void, surviving for millions of years, attacking those who traverse the void, and over time, they break down, weaken, and eventually turn to dust that is expelled into the astral realm where they nourish the births of new stars. Who? Monsters of the interdimensional void. That these vestiges are actually the discarded remnants of entering nirvana cultivators undergoing ascending metamorphosis into true immortals is intriguing. It's a new fact. From the integration stage, a small world, Shakshana, begins to form within the body, and by the entering nirvana stage, even the discarded husks become powerful enough to be considered small worlds. If these are the shells left behind during ascending metamorphosis, the Tao on Earth and the Tao of this world are distinctly different. Yet, there were many similarities, and ascending metamorphosis is one of them. So, the physical bodies that the entering nirvana cultivators have been training up to ascending metamorphosis turn out to be these shells. Is that right? Correct. One can say they are essentially the remains of the bodies of those entering nirvana true persons. Who, as I listen to the explanation about vestiges, I finally succeed in breaking through Bai's body to the other side. SSSHH. Despite walking rather slowly, it seems I am the first to arrive. Behind me, other cursed sorcerers are screaming and trying to pierce through Bai with various curses, but it seems futile. The path I had made through Bai writhed and regenerated in an instant. Hello, sir. Please tell me your name and the sect you belong to. The boy who had summoned Bai approaches me with a smiling face and asks, Sioli, I am from the Black Ghost Valley. Understood. The boy records my name and moves on to the next cursed sorcerers arriving, asking for their names and affiliations. That boy. I noticed something peculiar in the boy's eyes. A practitioner of heaven and earth dual cultivation. Within his small stature, I can feel the powerful life force of the earth tribe and the strength of the heaven tribe. Strangely, the boy's power is such that the forces of the heaven tribe and earth tribe conceal each other, making it difficult to accurately read his level. With my experience having attained the 3 great ultimates, I immediately recognize that the boy is at the grand perfection nascent soul stage. However, those who have practiced only one of the heaven and earth methods might not recognize the level of this formidable character. How long have I been observing the boy? Soon, 3,000 cursed sorcerers managed to get through Bai and gathered in the square beyond the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. The boy waits a moment. Then once the commotion behind Bai completely ceases, he speaks. It seems the others have given up. Well, as those who know may know, there is a minimal reward for those who have passed through the main gate. However, to take on the main task, we need to further filter out candidates through several tests. Please understand. Then, a series of tests to examine the curses of the cursed sorcerers ensue. I am the first to break through in each test, surveying the surroundings. The curses used by the cursed sorcerers in the test seem to be flowing somewhere. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect seems to be accumulating the curses somewhere. If they condense the curses of all these capable individuals, a truly terrifying curse might be born. It's akin to goo poison. Gathering curses and confining them in one place to create a malicious curse. What exactly are they planning to do with such a curse? As I ponder this, only the stated 10 individuals remain, with everyone else having been eliminated. Then, we have 3 cursed sorcerers from Black Ghost Valley, from the former Een Soul Ghost sect, 1 cursed sorcerer from the Radiant Light sect, 1 from the Desolate Ghost sect, and 1 loose cursed sorcerer. All 10 of you have gathered here. As some of you may know, our mystical scaled fish commanding sect values capable individuals. Even if this mission fails, we want to maintain a good relationship with those who have gathered here and will provide an advance payment. The boy hands each of the 10 of us a storage scroll. To receive such compensation in addition to the promised merit, typical of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. I too am impressed by the generosity of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. I know they made a huge commission mediating trade between the human race and earth tribes, but the amount is enormous. I marvel at the spiritual stones contained in the storage scroll. Even I, who is generally indifferent to wealth, am taken aback by the amount. Ahem, then please explain the mission. A cursed sorcerer from Black Ghost Valley at the Heavenly Being stage clears his throat and requests. Yes, I will explain. As those present may have noticed, we are indeed collecting the curses of cursed sorcerers. Like a goo jar, we intend to confine and create a monstrous curse. We are currently enhancing and amplifying the curse through the sect's grand formation. A sinister-looking man, apparently a cursed sorcerer from the Een Soul Ghost sect, licks his lips as he speaks. Since the mystical scaled fish commanding sect isn't exactly overflowing with cursed sorcerers, are you asking us to handle that curse? That's correct. After helping us amplify and strengthen that curse, you will then launch it towards coordinates we will provide later. Well, it should be easy if it's just that much. Handling such a powerful curse might even help open our eyes to new possibilities, which would be beneficial for us too. I hope this takes as long as possible. The cultivator from the Een Soul Ghost sect strokes his chin and nods in satisfaction. Then, the heavenly being cursed sorcerer from Black Ghost Valley sneers at the remnants of the Een Soul Ghost sect. That's right. The longer, the better. We're quiet now because of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect's reputation, but as soon as the mission is over, you'll be transported into our custody. The remnants of the Een Soul Ghost sect scoff back. Stupid fools. This is a cursed puppet made from Jiangshi, you idiots. Try catching a cursed puppet all you want. Do you think you can easily eradicate us? Ho. The cowards who only run away and get thrashed in a proper fight are talking big now. It's not you we fear, but the nether crossing ship. Without it, you're nothing. If it bothers you so much, why don't you bring your own sacred artifact? Pathetic excuses for losing your own, really. Sparks seem to fly between the remnants of the Een Soul Ghost sect and the elders of Black Ghost Valley. At this, the boy from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect steps, intermediate. It's all well and good, but I'd appreciate if personal discussions can wait until after the mission is over. At his words, both groups glance at each other briefly before turning away. Then, the official mission will start tomorrow. So for today, please rest and recover from your journey at the accommodations we have provided. The boy leads us to the accommodations provided by the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. We also receive permission to tour some parts of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect that are not strategically sensitive. Curious about this, I explore various parts of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect is quite large. It's a sect with a long history, after all. A clone of the boy accompanying me smiles and speaks. The boy created a clone using the 4 symbols nascent soul technique to guide me through the less sensitive areas of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. While I walk around the grounds of the sect with him, we arrive at the outskirts. There, near the outskirts, I discover an enormously vast valley. Interestingly, the valley is rich in heaven and earth spiritual energy, and the slope isn't too steep, making it not too difficult to build structures there. Yet, there are no buildings of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect, nor any signs of human activity. In front of the valley, there's an image of a flood dragon, which is the symbol of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. Why is this valley left so empty? The spiritual energy is dense, and it seems fine for construction. At my words, the boy gives a wry smile and explains. It's a legend that those who know may know. In fact, the original site of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect was where this valley now lies. Initially, it wasn't a valley but a mountain range. Is there a story behind it? Yes, it's related to the founding of our sect. Our sect's symbol is the flood dragon. However, our symbol was different when founded. A different symbol? Yes, it was a black snake biting its tail. Since our founder is the Black Dragon King, it was presumptuous to use the dragon as a symbol directly. It was also problematic to use a symbol too unrelated to him. So, if he is a dragon, we would follow him as a serpent, and thus the black snake was adopted as the sect's symbol. The boy continues explaining. However, the issue arose after the Black Dragon King attended the founding ceremony of our sect. He saw the symbol of the black snake and became violently enraged, scolding us for choosing such an ominous and grim symbol. The Black Dragon King was enraged? He is most likely the leftover of a true immortal. In my past life, he showed a demeanor of fearing nothing even in the middle realm, and indeed he behaved as so. But what could be the reason for such anger to use the phrase violently enraged? Eventually, the Black Dragon King demolished the sect's old hall along with the mountain range, creating the valley. He then forbade the use of any grim and terrible symbols like the black snake ever again, and personally crafted the symbol of the flood dragon before leaving. Since then, the black snake has become a taboo along with the old site. I see. I finally understand the words of the Demon Beast Methods merchant when I bought the Serpent Race method for Hong Fan. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect considers the black snake to be ominous, and Serpent Race methods are always sold off cheaply by the merchant. It seems likely related to the Black Dragon King, Hein Eum. The Black Dragon King saw Yun's Yun and was furious, asking if an entering Nirvana entity interfered. Does that mean the symbol of the black snake is also related to an entering Nirvana true person? It seems right to think so. Or maybe it's not about entering Nirvana entities. In the worst case, it might be related to true immortals. I assume the worst case scenario and concentrate my consciousness back to the main body. How is it, Hong Fan? Have you felt any issues while practicing Demon Beast methods recently? What kind of issues do you mean? As Hong Fan had just arrived and we were talking, I directly asked him. For instance, feeling as if someone is watching, or suddenly not feeling like yourself, feeling some kind of call, or something growing inside you, any of that? At that, Hong Fan laughs heartily and says, "Not at all. I haven't felt any problems, master." Is that so? If Hong Fan felt no issues, then the likelihood of the being related to the black snake being a true immortal seems reduced. It seems more likely related to an entering Nirvana entity than a true immortal. All right, there's no discomfort, right? Yes, none. However, I feel a bit stagnant in my poison arts recently. Is there something you need? I've already found what I need. I went to the underground information exchange and successfully located the source of the necessary poison I require. Watching Hong Fan continue to grow independently, I smile contentedly and say, "If you need spirit stones, just ask. I'll provide as much as you need. I thank Master for his kindness with my heart, but I am fine." The owner of the poison I need has issued a task related to the manufacture of a highly potent poison. Once I complete this task, he has promised to give me the poison I want. To make the poison he desires, it seems I have to go deep into the territory of the Earth Tribe's True Dragon Alliance. Hong Fan asks me cautiously as he looks at me, "Would it be alright if I went as far as the Earth Tribe territory? If you do not permit it, I will not go." "Why wouldn't it be? If it helps your growth, go ahead." "Thank you." Hong Fan's rescue of me from the dream induced by the owner of Salt Mountain using formless poison left a deep impression on me. His growth will ultimately benefit me as well, so it's a good thing. By the way, what kind of poison does the person from the Earth Tribe want from you? It seems to be a type of scattering cultivation poison. The client seems to want a poison that can bring down even an integration stage grand cultivator, but it will depend on the quality of materials they provide. Oh, it seems they're planning something big. A poison that can affect an integration stage grand cultivator sounds terrifying just to think about. After encouraging Hong Fan, I send him on his way. Soon after Hong Fan leaves, John Myung-hoon enters my cave residence. "So, you had something to discuss?" John Myung-hoon smirks and gets straight to the point. "I plan to go to the Nether Ghost Realm. And to get to the Nether Ghost Realm, I will need the assistance of the Black Ghost Valley. I can help, but it might take some time." "No, it's fine. Maybe I can even go right now." What John Myung-hoon says next truly surprises me. Through the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect who went to the Nether Ghost Realm, I found out where Kong Min-hee is. Chapter 293, Avenger 3. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 293, Avenger 3. Kong Min-hee. I respond, slightly surprised. Even though CO Lee's investigation into Black Ghost Valley didn't yield any information beyond her general location, she's still difficult to locate. It seems that the disciples sent to the Nether Ghost Realm have news about Kim Min-hee, indicating she might be in the Nether Ghost Realm. Is she perhaps in the Nether Ghost Realm? No. To be precise, she's on the path, heading from the Bright Cold Realm to the Nether Ghost Realm. A path to the Nether Ghost Realm. That's the first I've heard of such a thing. The True Devil Realm, being adjacent to the Bright Cold Realm, has many paths leading to it. Every major sect has at least one or two entrances to the True Devil Realm, given its proximity. However, realms like Ancient Force, Purple Gold, and Nether Ghost are all quite distant, making formal pathways difficult to establish. Understanding my confusion, John Myung-hoon adds more information. It's a very peculiar path that opens only through the Nether Crossing ship. According to the information received from the Nether Ghost Realm disciples, it's more of a side path than a formal path. A side path. If a hole is made in a dimension, that becomes the entrance to the dimension. But how could there exist something like a side path in a dimension? Well, I guess I don't need to know the details. It's not like I'm going to be creating side paths myself. So, you're saying we should use this side path through Kong Minhee? Yeah, try contacting Kong Minhee. She won't turn down a request from old colleagues, would she? Why are you asking me to contact her? Why don't you do it? At that, John Myung-hoon grins and says, I saw many things flash before my eyes when I ascended to the nascent soul stage. Most pass by quickly, so I don't remember everything, but some memories are still vivid in my mind. And one of those memories from our company days was that Kong Min-hee really disliked me. Well, the only person who was outwardly friendly with John Myung-hoon was Oh Hyeseo. But his next words leave me speechless. And I remember during the early days at work, you and Kong Min-hee were the closest. You always backed each other up well, even during discussions at the Ascension Path. So, maybe she'd listen to you, since you were close? Me and Kong Min-hee being close. Yeah, that was true in the beginning. That's why I'm asking you to do it. If I contact her again, given Kong Min-hee's temperament, I'm likely to get a mouthful of curses. If I contact her, it might not just be a mouthful of curses. She might just hang up on me right away. But then I reconsider. No, it's been nearly 100 years. Would Kong Min-hee still feel uncomfortable about me? It's such an old issue that my own feelings about it have faded, but I'm unsure how Kong Min-hee might think of me now, which makes contacting her directly awkward. Nor does it feel right to talk about that time to John Myung-hoon without Kong Min-hee's permission. Now that I've taken the position of Grand Cultivator, I guess she might agree to meet if I formally contact her through Black Ghost Valley. Suddenly, I become curious whether Kong Min-hee's feelings towards me have truly faded or not. Should I try contacting her? After John Myung-hoon's persuasion, I contemplated whether I should reach out to Kong Min-hee. In the early days, after all, Kong Min-hee and I had secretly dated within the company. Blink. I open my eyes. Both my main body and I share a common sentiment when it comes to Kong Min-hee. I wonder what Kong Min-hee thinks of me now. Kong Min-hee and I had a strange relationship. Initially, as fellow new hires and batchmates at the company, we both harbored a strange fascination with the idea of having an office romance. So, we started dating on the way home from our first company dinner with the thought, shall we try it? And we broke up after just 3 weeks. We were horribly incompatible, and as is often the case, we quickly became awkward around each other afterward. Being in the same department, even if it was just a 3-week relationship, the presence of an ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend in the same space was suffocating in itself. While Kong Min-hee managed to maintain a cheerful appearance professionally, she was difficult to get close to personally, not feeling much attachment to the company. I, on the other hand, was the opposite, getting along with Hyun-suk-hyung and other department members despite John Myung-hoon's harassment. So, after a brief and awkward discussion, Kong Min-hee decided to resign. However, before she submitted her resignation, a project proposal she had written out of boredom caught the eye of the president of SJD Company, who was so impressed that he publicly praised her and raised her initial salary level by 3 grades. She was quickly slated for a managerial position, and unable to pass up the opportunity, she decided to stay, enduring the awkward relationship with me while aiming for a department transfer. Of course, the department transfer failed due to John Myung-hoon's tricks. I was also beginning to grow fond of the company at that time, and I decided to stay because I wasn't sure if I could succeed in finding another job. Thus, we coexisted awkwardly, and Kong Min-hee, climbing the ranks faster than I did, began to openly ignore and dislike me. Beyond awkwardness, we really disagreed on everything. Since our desks were close, I used to ask her work-related questions occasionally, but at some point, I started going to Hyun-suk-hyung instead. Moreover, our relationship had been half driven by a fascination with office romance and half by the excitement after the first company dinner, so there was no real affection between us. We literally became like oil and water. Looking back, the reason I could endure John Myung-hoon's bullying wasn't so much because of my strong mentality, but rather because I was more concerned about my suffocating relationship with Kong Min-hee, that I hardly paid any attention to John Myung-hoon. Our bad relationship persisted, even during Ascension Path. She would smile when interacting with me, but always avoided me when any tasks needed to be done. On the first day, the reason Oh Hyeseo and Kim Yun found a place to stay with me, while Kong Min-hee went off with others to find the car was all because of that. Those are memories too. I chuckle as I return to my lodging. That's already a memory from thousands of years ago, a time when I was no different than an infant. However, since the events concerning Kong Min-hee happened only about 100 years ago, it's hard to tell what she thinks of it. Leaning against the wall, I ponder for a moment before deciding to delay contacting Kim Min-hee directly through my main body. For now, I'll gather some information as Seoli. If she's the same as before, liking and disliking the same things, she'd think the same about me too. If she's changed, there's a chance her thoughts about me have changed too. I head to the residence next door and greet the elders of the Black Ghost Valley. Junior CO Lee greets the elders of the Black Ghost Valley. Ah, a polite lad. Hee, we saw everything during the test. You are far superior in curse techniques than those of the Een Soul Ghost sect. It's great to see such talent enter the Black Ghost Valley. They attempt to pat my shoulder, but I subtly avoid it and ask a question. By the way, there's something I'm curious about. Since I am a newcomer, may I ask seniors a question? Upon my greeting, the two cursed sorcerers at the Heavenly Being stage of Black Ghost Valley look puzzled and ask, weren't you appointed a temporary Ghost King companion as a new Een Soul disciple? Look here, senior. Haven't you informed this junior the basics of the Black Ghost Valley? They ask, sensing the Bayul within me. But it wasn't that I didn't want to ask Bayul. I asked Bayul about Kim Min Hee whenever I had the time, but Bayul only said, I've heard of the name. Bayul is quite an old soul, after all, and said he hasn't been interested in recent disciples or current operations of Black Ghost Valley. Ah, juniors, don't misunderstand. This old man just isn't very interested in the sect's minor or major matters other than merging with the Een Soul Ghost sect. I've been around for too long. Ah, I see. It's understandable for an ancient Ghost King. The Heavenly Being stage elders, Wai Han and Gubon, tell me to ask if I have any questions. First of all, who is the highest leader of the current Black Ghost Valley in the Bright Cold Realm? Who might they be? The one with the highest realm is the Grand Perfection 4-Axis Stage Black Grand Elder Guryu, who is one step into the integration stage. He passed away 3,000 years ago and is enshrined in the Grand Tomb Domain as a Ghost King. He is on the verge of the integration stage but has already abandoned his human body, and if he reaches the integration stage, he'll transfer to the main branch in the Nether Ghost realm, so he's practically non-existent. The next in line are the mid-4-axis stage Black Grand Elders Heo Y and Heo Ryan, and Black Grand Elder Heo Guak at the early 4-axis stage. They are essentially the top leaders of the valley. His explanation continues. Upon hearing the explanation, it seems that Black Ghost Valley operates under an oligarchic system where multiple Black Grand Elders handle matters collectively, unlike sects like the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect or the Azure Heaven Creation sect, where one sect master makes all the decisions. I see. Then, who are the key figures of the valley? Well, the various hall masters of the Een Soul Hall, Ghost Soul Hall, Corpse Soul Hall, Gate Soul Hall, and Duty Hall are all positioned under the Black Grand Elders. The Een Soul Hall manages the Nether Crossing ship and navigation. The Ghost Soul Hall handles cultivation methods and the management of Ghost Kings, as well as rituals towards the Netherworld and communication with the main branch of the Nether Ghost realm. The Corpse Soul Hall manages the sect's discipline and laws. The Gate Soul Hall manages entry into the sect and overall administration. The Duty Hall is responsible for distributing various sect tasks in a mission format and managing rewards. Elders, in your opinion, which of the recent disciples of the Black Ghost Valley have stood out the most? After thinking for a moment, they say, well, not a disciple, but if you count the recent arrivals, there's really only one. Indeed, although many exceptional individuals have joined, the most outstanding is definitely that person. I read Wai Han and Gub Yuan's intent. They clearly hold respect for this person. The current Deputy Hall Master of the Ghost Soul Hall, Grand Perfection Heavenly Being Elder Kong Min Hee, is that person. A remarkable individual indeed. It hasn't even been 100 years since she started cultivation, and she is already transitioning from the Heavenly Being stage to the 4-axis stage. Wow, is she not even 100 years old? Yes, she's indeed very promising. As soon as Kong Min Hee is mentioned, my eyes light up, and I ask about her. That's impressive. How can one enter the Een Soul Hall, Ghost Soul Hall, and the like of the Black Ghost Valley? To enter one of the 5 great halls, you first need merit points. If you accumulate over 1,000 merit points, you can choose to enter one of the halls. Otherwise, becoming a Heavenly Being Elder allows you to become a Hall Master and enter. Either gather merit points or become a Heavenly Soul. I resolve to accumulate merit points or reach the Heavenly Being stage as quickly as possible. After hearing more information and anecdotes about Kong Min Hee, I return to my lodging to think. Kong Min Hee hasn't changed since 100 years ago. That likely means that the awkwardness and discomfort she feels towards me probably still lingers to a significant extent. Then, I might have no choice but to leave it to John Myung-hoon. You want me to contact Kong Min Hee? Yes. You probably already know, but about a year and a half before we fell to Ascension Path, Kong Min Hee and I had a big fight. That one. I've heard about it from the director. You two were shouting at each other in the office, right? Yeah, but now that I think about it, that happened during work hours, so why do you know about it? HM, that's not important. But ever since I stopped her department transfer through my uncle, she almost never spoke to me again. And you want me to contact her? I sigh at his lack of response. John Myung-hoon and me. That would be the worst combination for Kong Min Hee. Given her personality, if we both ask her to help us use this side path, she will sternly refuse. The two people she dislikes the most asking her for a favor. Why would she agree? And I don't want to force her to open the side path for a mere couple disciples from the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. I feel an increasing sense of dissonance, but choose to ignore it. Well, can't help it. If that's the case, I'll try talking through someone else. Who? Kim Yun. I stand up. I was planning to go save her anyway, but I guess I'll have to go a bit sooner. Escaping won't be hard now. Come with me. We're going to meet the Mad Lord. Translator notes. I'm changing Mount Tai Emperor's splitting technique and owner of Mount Tai to Great Mountain. I got confused because Great Mountain, Kashan, also translates to Mount Tai. However, after doing some more research, it's a different Mount Tai from the famous one, Kashan. Chapter 294, Avenger 4. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 294, Avenger 4. It's strange. It's definitely strange. No matter how many times I see it, the main body is not normal. Describing the disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect as mere? Why? This is a completely different sentiment from when I used to shout for the lives of the disciples. However, to say that the heart itself is somehow twisted, the feelings towards Kang Min-hee and Kim Yun remain unchanged. I wondered if it might have been influenced by Yang Sujin's non-human theory, but even when I concentrated my consciousness in the main body and recalled Bu Qianghua, those feelings remained the same. Is this really just an overreaction? However, I can't ignore this sense of dissonance. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. I need to quickly elevate my own cultivation and attain a high realm so I can observe my consciousness with higher-level consciousness methods. After making that decision, I close my eyes and continue to train in the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. The main body, along with John Myung-hoon, are discussing joining the Grand Cultivator meeting and are looking for a teleportation array to visit the Mad Lord, while I close my eyes and concentrate my consciousness on the nascent soul that was transformed into a Ghost King through the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. Kwaruru, Bayul, next to my Ghost King transformed nascent soul, trembles as it helps me condense the aura of death. Death begins to densely cluster beneath like the silt at the bottom of a river, pressing into the interior of my nascent soul. Shortly after, an intense blue ghost fire ignites from the eyes of the nascent soul, similar to that of Song Jin. And then, suddenly, Wawoon, I feel a strange sensation as if I am breaking through my upper dantian. This is, maintaining the sensation, I open my eyes, and the surrounding world appears different. The lodging suddenly took on a gray hue. The more I focus my mind, the more I see black lines appearing among the gray hues. When I focus on a piece of pottery in the lodging, the lines on it gradually increase, forming what looks like cracks. As I continue to concentrate on this sensation, the cracks eventually spread its territory, completely darkening the vase. At that moment, I'm startled and turn off the sensation. What was that? It seemed like I saw something terrifying beyond the pitch-black cracks. Bayul, explain what sensations one gains when becoming a Ghost King. Yes, there is only one. It has long been known historically in the Ghost Path method that the Ghost King perceives the netherworld. You would surely know, my lord, but let me recite my humble knowledge. The gray world visible only to the dead is the outer boundary of the netherworld. The outer boundary of the netherworld? Yes, the black lines you see there represent rest or death. If you look closely, these black lines float above objects and spread in the form of cracks. That is the form of death that the object takes. I see. I recall how the lines had spread in the form of cracks on the vase. Surely, when the vase breaks, it will break along those cracks. That is the fate of the vase, its imminent form of death. As the form of death covers an object more and more, does the object approach death and die when completely covered? Exactly. It's a unique vision of ghosts, completely different from the visions that the Heaven, Earth, and Heart tribe possesses. We call it nether perception, Nigla. I don't ask further, but I understand immediately. When viewed through nether perception, if an object is completely covered by the form of death, it turns completely black. And beyond that blackness is surely that terrifying feeling. When one completely traces the form of death through nether perception, the black area that appears, that black area is precisely the netherworld. Is that so? I ponder for a moment, then close my eyes before activating nether perception. With enhanced consciousness, I observe my own body, and I can't help but be startled. Even without focusing the nether perception, my body is already completely black. I see. Am I already deceased, Wanju? Having said that, my Ghost King turned nascent soul still carries a faint gray hue. I fully understand the principle of the Ghost Immortal Kuei Devilish Secrets. It involves absorbing the form of death present in all beings, turning the nascent soul into a Ghost King residing on the outer boundary of the netherworld. If the deceased practice this, they will remain in the outer boundary of the netherworld and not be pulled directly into its depths. If the living practice this, they can enter the outer boundary of the netherworld. No wonder ghost kings are feared as great ghosts. An existence completely covered by the form of death becomes an entrance to the netherworld itself, leading directly there. And the form of death emanating from me. It's immensely vast and deep. I am essentially a moving gateway to the netherworld. It suddenly occurs to me that ghosts might be dragged directly into the netherworld if they come into contact with me. Even though this is just a part of my soul attached with the mysterious bizarre goo, it's already this powerful. If it were the death of the main body, the enormity is unthinkable. This is rather, not so much the living becoming deceased through death, but the darkness of the dead having crawled up from the netherworld. No wonder they fled from me, claiming I'd devour them. And then I realize one more thing. So, Bayul has already. I thought Bayul was merely residing peacefully within me, perfectly sane and conversing. But that isn't the case. Bayul had gone mad. The essence of most cultivation sects is longevity. Although immortality is unattainable, many in cultivation sects aspire to reach to higher realms to extend their lifespan. Black Ghost Valley is no exception. They too desire longevity, even if it means becoming a ghost king to stay in the ninth heaven. These are the ones who didn't wish to die even if they became ghost kings. Yet, looking at myself, it's as if I am wrapped in a death so terrifying that I might well be a death god of the netherworld myself. This is despite being a mere shadow compared to the main body. Bayul, in a state of madness, only responds when stimulated. Most ghosts are noisy. I wondered why Bayul is so quiet inside me. I feel a bit sorry for him. But still, according to the rules of Black Ghost Valley, he needs to stay inside a new disciple for a certain period, so please just bear with it a little longer. After that period, he can come out of me, lose the memories of this time, and be peacefully enshrined back at the Nether Crossing Ship Shrine. I comfort Bayul in my heart, while practicing the Ghost Immortal Kuwait devilish secrets. Soon, spiritual power begins to accumulate rapidly inside my transformed nascent soul. As I am extracting my form of my death and converting it into spiritual power, I soon realize something is changing. What is this? Wawoom. I focus my mind and take out the 5 Elements Blood Curse banner. It's a type of consciousness method, and as the name suggests, it also possesses the properties of the 5 elements. TSDSSDSSD. The 5 Elements Blood Curse banner quickly merges and dissolves into my nascent soul, as constant as the moon, as the rising of the sun, long-lived as the 5 great mountains. Late nascent soul stage. I head outside my quarters and, guided, briefly venture outside the mystical scaled fish commanding sect to find a secluded area. Soon, the heavenly tribulation begins to strike, and I regain the level of the late nascent soul stage as I endure it. I return back to my residence with a somewhat dazed feeling and observe the interior of my body. What's this speed? My rapid rise to the nascent soul stage at the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was clearly due to the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword from previous cycles. Without the cultivation from the previous cycle, it would have taken me decades just to gather enough chi to ascend to the nascent soul stage. But now, the colorless glass sword is with the main body, and I have none of the cultivation stored from previous cycles. Yet, I was still able to amass enough spiritual power to enter the late nascent soul stage so quickly. I feel dumbfounded by this insane cultivation speed as I continue to practice the Ghost Immortal Kuwait devilish secrets in the lodge. The next day arrives. Gubin and Waihan. The 2 heavenly being stage elders look at me with a spark in their eyes. It seems you were hiding your cultivation yesterday. To think you're at the grand perfection nascent soul stage. A quite high-level disciple has entered Black Ghost Valley. Haha. Judging by the spiritual energy, it seems this one might soon become an elder. Let's greet him in advance. I look forward to working with you, Elder Seo. Huh. Haha. It's nothing, seniors. I laugh awkwardly. Even if I say I went from mid-nascent soul to grand perfection overnight, they wouldn't believe it, right? Moreover, if I gather just a little more energy, I can reach the heavenly being stage. I laugh awkwardly and, from that day on, follow the duties of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect, enhancing, complementing, and amplifying the curses they manufactured. I see why Black Ghost Valley also researched curses. When I cast Nether Perception on a curse spell, it appears as an infinitely transparent shape, the exact opposite of the form of death. Gray represents the outer boundary of the netherworld. Black signifies the netherworld itself, and the colorless, transparent light symbolizes the living realm. I recall Bayul's words as I look at the curse spell. A curse is essentially pain. Pain, being an aspect of life, is imperceptible from the outer boundary of the netherworld. Similarly, blessings also appear transparent. Although blessings and curses seem contrasting, from the standpoint of death, they are essentially the same. It seems ghost kings, whose days are numbered before being pulled into the netherworld, really need curse techniques. These are like wedges, a method belonging to the realm of life, that can hold them back from being dragged into the netherworld. Of course, it will only bring a slight delay for the Ghost Kings, as they are already deceased and inevitably fated to be pulled into the netherworld someday. After death, as the attractive pull of the netherworld gradually grows stronger, no matter how much they master curse methods or other consciousness methods belonging to the realm of life, they will inevitably be sucked into the netherworld. And this curse. Chai. I click my tongue as I look at the curse spell created in conjunction with 9 other curse sorcerers. It's a quite malevolent curse. While delving into the essence of this curse, I realized it's based on someone's deep resentment. I can't exactly tell whose it is, but it's created by overlaying a curse on a powerful grudge. Anyone afflicted by this curse will surely be in devastating trouble. For those below the heavenly being stage, merely touching the curse will not just weaken them, it will completely rot them away. Even the curse sorcerers found it difficult to handle, and gradually, at some point, control had converged upon me, the most skilled among them. I heavily infused my Een Soul Ghost incantation into the curse spell to train it not to act up without my permission. Have you already stabilized it? The boy who had given us the mission. The boy named High-NGWI, Black or Profound or Mysterious Turtle, Shen, laughs heartily as he watches us perfectly control the curse spell. I hadn't expected such good results even from gathering skilled curse sorcerers. Truly remarkable. Especially Cercio. He lets out a small exclamation of admiration as he looks at me skillfully handling the curse. He seems particularly interested in me for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel it'd be better to make a good impression on High-NGWI, so I manipulate the curse spell even more dazzlingly in front of him. The task of strengthening and amplifying the curse spell took several days. After we sufficiently strengthened the curse formula, we were able to take breaks. It felt like we could rest for a day or two after about 10 days of strengthening the curse spell. And every so often, 1 out of the 10 of us could leave the mystical scaled fish commanding sect for external activities without any issue. Of course, only one person can go out at a time, and we were under strict orders to keep silent about the curse production within the mystical scaled fish commanding sect, but it wasn't a big problem. And as time passed, it came time for me to go out. Cercio, if you leave, it won't be easy to stabilize the curse, so I hope you return quickly. High-NGWI laughs heartily as he sees me off to the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. Understood. I'm just going out to check something at Black Ghost Valley, so don't worry. All right. Then, if you'll excuse me. Just as I am about to borrow a teleportation array to head to Black Ghost Valley, High-NGWI calls out to me. Wait a moment, Cercio. I have something to tell you. Yes? What is it? High-NGWI smiles slyly and speaks in a low voice. There's something I wish to share only with you, Cercio. I'm impressed by your skills with curses and would like to ask for a favor. Step. He crosses the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect and flicks his fingers. Snap. Kia. A surge of Een energy bursts from his body, coloring the surroundings. I realize that a special barrier is blocking the inside from the outside. What is it that you need to speak so secretly about? It's because there are many things to be cautious about. The Black Dragon King has cast spells throughout the entire interior of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect to always monitor us. He wants to see if we are trying to escape his grasp. In fact, this information itself is confidential, and I can't openly share it. It's only after stepping outside the mystical scaled fish commanding sect and casting a barrier that I can speak freely. High-NGWI continues with a bitter expression. It is said that our mystical scaled fish commanding sect is backed by the Black Dragon King. You might think that he would treat us well since it's a sect led by his descendants. However, the reality is different. Every year, we must offer cultivators of at least core formation stage as sacrifices to the Black Dragon King. If the number of sacrifices is insufficient, the Black Dragon King sometimes consumes one of our disciples. We are not his favored ones. We are his sacrifices and slaves. That's why some of us in the mystical scaled fish commanding sect have thought of this. His eyes glow intensely. Even if it means being degraded from the 5 great sects of the human race, we wish to escape from High-NGWI's grasp. Our entire sect is bound by a prohibition. We cannot escape it, but there is a possibility. I swallow as I listen to High-NGWI, talking about such confidential matters. He means to kill me if I don't cooperate. Of course, I'm not particularly afraid of High-NGWI in front of me. Although he is a practitioner of heaven and earth dual cultivation, I am confident I can beat him. However, the fact that he is discussing this just beyond the main gate of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect means that there are other sect members nearby who share his purpose. Since Seo Li is a clone, dying isn't a big issue. But it's a bit of a waste since this clone has infiltrated the Black Ghost Valley. What possibility are you talking about? I decide to listen to his thoughts. In 500 years, the storage scroll of Lofty Dragon True Person, Junrun, will appear in the Chaos Realm, Longjik. Lofty Dragon True Person. I exclaim in surprise. Is this true? Yes, those who know are already aware. It appears periodically every 2,000 years. I gasp in astonishment. The title True Person, Junrun, can only be used during the entering Nirvana stage. And I am very familiar with the title Lofty Dragon, Jung. A legend I learned while living in the Earth Tribe. Long ago, during the war involving the Bright Cold Realm, the ancestor and leader of the True Dragon Alliance from the Earth Tribe, who led the Bright Cold Realm to victory. The very territory where the current True Dragon Alliance is established. That is Lofty Dragon True Person. Are you saying a relic left by the progenitor of the Earth Tribe will appear? Yes. The storage scroll he left is not only a Dharma treasure itself, but also an alternate world. And we have found an artifact within this storage scroll that can free us from High Eum. It's an artifact that can lift the prohibition the Black Dragon King has placed on us. However, lifting this prohibition will require an exceptional cursed sorcerer. So, you want to recruit me? Yes. If you help us, we will give you one of the artifacts obtained from that realm, and 10 times the reward we offered for this mission. The compensation this time is already significant. 10 times that amount. It's a tempting offer. There's a special prohibition in that realm that prevents even integration stage cultivators from entering, so there's not much risk. You just need to cast the curse for us. I ponder for a moment and then ask him, what kind of artifacts are you talking about? I'll show you the list right now. Snap. As High NGWI snaps his fingers, numerous illusions of items appear before me. As I reach out to the nearest illusion, I feel information about it flowing into my mind. Wow. Each and every one of them are incredible. I'm greatly impressed. But having been betrayed by Co Huil before, I remain skeptical. Such favorable terms. Could there be a trick? The intent seems suspicious. High NGWI still hasn't told me everything. However, it doesn't seem to be anything too significant, an intent that is just slightly unsettling. That's when, among the illusions that High NGWI conjured, I notice a tome bound in the hide of a strange beast, titled in a language I have never seen before. At that moment, Bayel inside me speaks up. My lord, choose that book as your reward. Is there something special about it? The script written on that book is the language of ghost souls, commonly used in the netherworld, especially by high-ranking death gods. Were you unaware of it? No, of course I knew that. But why insist on acquiring it? I see. Perhaps to the noble one, even such an item may seem insignificant. However, that book is a legendary secret manual. The fools of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect do not know its worth, so we should take it. Explain what it is. Bayel's following words almost make me jump. As the noble being knows, there is such a thing as the true orthodox axis, not the erroneous method built through the 5 elements. And that ritual scripture of the wealth virtue, is one of the secret manuals known to offer access to the wealth axis among the true orthodox axis. It's practically more of a spiritual elixir in the form of a book. The noble one can already rise with your knowledge of understanding before breakthrough, but gracing the book to the disciples of Black Ghost Valley can lead them to tremendous growth. I receive an equally enthusiastic response from the main body, and without further ado, I choose the ritual scripture of the wealth virtue. This book? Well, it's just a book with undecipherable text to us in the mystical scaled fish commanding sect, so if Circio likes it, feel free to take it. High NGWI nods. It's of no value to us, so I'll give it to you right away as an advance. High NGWI seems to communicate with someone outside, then splits space and reaches into it to retrieve the book from somewhere. And then I receive the ritual scripture of the wealth virtue. Good. With the ritual scripture of the wealth virtue, I can build the wealth axis. I had once sighed at the thought of having to travel through the middle realms to achieve the true orthodox axis. Fortunately, it seems I will only need to visit 3. I won't need to go to the purple gold realm, true devil, ancient force, nether ghost. It seems like visiting just these 3 later will suffice. You seem in a good mood, Co Unhyun. John Myung-hoon asks with a smirk. Is it because you're going to meet Kim Yun? Well, that's part of it. How curious. You were so dense at the company no matter how much you were approached that it was weird, but you've noticed it here. It seems Yun had shown interest enough for even John Myung-hoon to know. I honestly thought you were just gritting your teeth and ignoring it. That's why there were rumors at the company that you're either celibate or gay. What kind of nonsense is that? Where did you hear it? Deputy Oh Hyesyo told me. She said she heard it too, and that it's a widespread rumor at the office. Well, I just thought you were too clueless and incapable of dating. Thinking I need to pay even less attention to Oh Hyesyo in the future, I jokingly smacked John Myung-hoon on the head, bursting it. Boom. Art. Quiet. And we're almost there. Soon, a bizarre fortress comes into view. Zing. At the same time, I smile at the familiar pulse of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. It's been a crack. Just then, space tears open, and her arms suddenly spring out. Peekaboo, why have you come to our house? And suddenly, the Mad Lord appears out of nowhere. Chapter 295, Her 1. Join the Discord for chapter updates and important news. Chapter 295, Her 1. Shiver. I hastily step back and say with a smile, Greetings, old man Mad Lord. Old man, come to think of it, you're that fellow who followed when I ascended. Such an adorable one. So you wanted to be my disciple. What are you doing, dear? Hurry, take this praiseworthy child and let him be reborn. Old man Mad Lord starts manipulating her with wide, flickering eyes. Damn it, let's just say what we need to. Old man, please listen to what I have to say. Do you know that Xiao Huiol is getting married? What? At that, old man Mad Lord's eyes completely roll back as he yells furiously. No, that's Xiao Huiol. To hold such an important event without telling me. This won't do. Can't you guide me to where Xiao Huiol is? I somehow feel a chill running down my spine. Damn, continuing this conversation itself is exhausting. It's a relief that I know the logic of old man Mad Lord. Yes, I will guide you immediately. First, please head quickly to the wonderfully mysterious fortress and activate the fortress. Shouldn't we hurry and bless Xiao Huiol? Yes. That's a good idea. Follow me. Old man Mad Lord and her immediately tear through space and enter the wonderfully mysterious fortress, and helplessly under her gaze that cut off my escape routes from behind, I follow him. Then, I leave a mental message for John Myonghun to stay outside the wonderfully mysterious fortress before sneaking in. Now, where should we go? Where do we have to go to bless Xiao Huiol? Xiao Huiol isn't actually anywhere at this point. It seems better to offer up the Black Dragon King Hien Eum as a substitute. This coordinate will do. This is where Xiao Huiol will receive everyone's blessing. After giving the Mad Lord the location of the Black Dragon King's cave residence, I step back. Mad Lord's eyes spin once again as he begins to operate the wonderfully mysterious fortress, and soon, the fortress rises into the air. I then shout loudly to old man Mad Lord. I will take a look around this place where I will be living. Oh yes, you're getting to know your new home. All right, go and come back quickly to be reborn. Thank you. After saying so, I slip out of the control room of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. I already feel my mental strength depleting. Talking with him is truly draining, and I can't let my guard down for a moment. As I leave the control room, I explore the various parts of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Terrifying. The puppets of the wonderfully mysterious fortress pretend to form a society and live. And in various places, puppets are being mass-produced by the factories they operate. What's terrifying is seeing the corpses of what appears to be integration stage grand cultivators hanging everywhere. The corpses of nearly 30 integration stage grand cultivators. And the presence of 6 grand cultivator level spiritual pressures is felt throughout. In my past life, creating that many integration stage puppets within 100 days was possible because there were plenty of materials already. Judging by the corpses of the grand cultivators, if there had been more time, not just 28, but even 60 could have been made. Even though I reach the level of power of a grand cultivator, if Mad Lord loses his mind, I will likely end up hanging there too. If I don't want to end up hanging there like General CO or something similar, I can't let down my guard for even a moment. Already, there are 6 grand cultivator level puppets made. Even Han 1 would be just a toy to the Mad Lord. At the grand cultivator meeting, I just said I'll be stopping by another place, not meeting up with the Mad Lord. But somehow, I ended up deep inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Originally, I wasn't supposed to go deep inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress, but rather call Kim Yun from the outside and take her with me. But plans have changed a bit. Well, if the plan has changed, I'll just move accordingly. I know the wonderfully mysterious fortress well enough to find a way. I begin searching for Kim Yun. TSSDSSDSSD. My consciousness resonates through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. And I locate Kim Yun. Pat it. Yuna. I dash to the spot in a flash. And within the estate formed of puppets, I am able to meet Kim Yun. Hyun Appa. You've been captured too. Kim Yun runs up to me with a tear-streaked face, and I shake my head. No, I came to save you. What? She looks up at me with tears streaming down her face. What do you mean? How can we leave from here? That's impossible. It might have been possible before I was captured, but now that we've entered the belly of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. I shake my head and take her hand. No, it's definitely possible. We just need to create a moment's opportunity. I feel Kim Yun's consciousness. Her cultivation is already at the heavenly being stage, and the magnitude of her consciousness reached the level of integration. By the way, Yuna, have you completed the homework I gave you? What? I pat her shoulder reassuringly and say, let's see you perform. Is that really important right now? Yes. The chances of our escape depends on how much you've grown. I connected to the wonderfully mysterious fortress through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon to ensure the Mad Lord can't eavesdrop on our conversation. Shortly after, she takes out a fan from her storage scroll and begins performing the paired wing dance in front of me. TSSDSSDSSD. Her movements are those of a first-rate master. At the same time, I notice with delight that her consciousness is moving perfectly in sync with the flow of intent. It's a relief. You've reached the peak. Yes, just like you said, Unhyanapa. At some point, my consciousness became more finely perceivable. The colors of the intent became clearer. The Mad Lord's consciousness method inherently opens the path to 3 flowers gather at the summit and 5 energies converging to the origin. Therefore, mastering the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon and achieving the pinnacle in martial arts, although a bit forced, has the same effect as a martial artist dedicating their life to reach 3 flowers gather at the summit and 5 energies converging to the origin. In theory, she is already a master of 5 energies converging to the origin. Of course, because the proficiency in martial arts differs, she will likely lose if she were to face a real master of 5 energies converging to the origin in martial combat. Anyway, since martial arts aren't Kim Yun's main focus, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that from 3 flowers gather at the summit, she can use the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. This is impossible with just the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. At least, one needs to be at the pinnacle stage of martial arts to perform the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. Now, Yana, I'm going to enter within you. Wawoom. I start to explain while floating a gang sphere above my hand. Given Mad Lord's personality, he'll probably come to the modification room to capture me soon because I haven't returned. And when he comes to capture me, you and I will leave the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Once outside, John Myung-hoon will appear, and you must run straight to him. John Myung-hoon's Red Lightning Heavenly Tribulation has a unique technique. It's the technique of returning lightning strike, commonly called reverse lightning strike. This technique is based on the fundamental properties of lightning. Heavenly lightning strikes from the sky to the ground, and the path created by the lightning allows the lightning to travel back from the ground to the sky. It's lightning returning to the heavens. Based on this property, the technique of reverse lightning strike is often used to reclaim the energy expended in lightning path methods. But in this situation, the best use is to escape. Using the technique of the returning lightning strike, John Myung-hoon had flown here following his own trajectory, creating a path of lightning. And when we return, we can use the path of lightning that John Myung-hoon created to go back much faster than on the way here. With my help, that speed will essentially be no different from using a teleportation array. And while I buy time in front of the Mad Lord, entrust your body and consciousness to my gang sphere inside you. Then we can escape. She looks uneasy. I smile at her and pat her shoulder. It'll be okay. We'll succeed. Okay, I'll trust you. She hesitates for a moment, but then accepts my gang sphere. I merge the mysterious bizarre goo I had implanted in her with the gang sphere, securing a place within her consciousness. Our consciousnesses become even more closely connected through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. And then, it happens. When exact lyri come in janid to calm, herequicto quick clibicaminu persino finanation hurry. The Mad Lord's speech echoes throughout the entire wonderfully mysterious fortress. Let's go. I grab Kim Yun's hand, and at the same time, unfold the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. Simultaneously, her vast consciousness, controlled by me, permeates throughout the wonderfully mysterious fortress. In an instant, the control of the wonderfully mysterious fortress shifts to us. We have about 3 seconds. And 3 seconds are enough. I draw out the colorless glass sword and hold it in my other hand. Severing Mountain. Quadudaduk. While the grand cultivator-level puppets are frozen, my sword strike pierces through one side of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Qua. I move through the frozen world with her, quickly escaping to the outside. That took 1 second. The wonderfully mysterious fortress is tougher than expected, taking a full second. With the remaining 2 seconds. It's then, you scoundrel toy ornunst. What? Mad Lord swiftly regains control in an instant. I grit my teeth and emerge outside the wonderfully mysterious fortress, throwing Kim Yun with all my might towards John Myung-hoon, who is waiting in the distance. Oh, Yana, just like I told you. I quickly finish speaking and turn back to face the Mad Lord. Click, click, click. The wonderfully mysterious fortress restarts, and from inside, I sense forces that seem comparable to the entire human race. Mad old man, just how does one become equivalent to an entire race in just 100 years? It's something I see every cycle, but it's astonishing every time. Kagugugu. Centered around her, 6 integration stage puppets appear, gathering strength. Mad Lord, beside her, does not hide his fury as he begins manipulating the puppets. It's done. As expected, taking Kim Yun prompts him to come forward. I shout with all my might. Even if I leave here, I must land this one blow on the Mad Lord. Old man Mad Lord, we will be borrowing your disciple. We will ensure she grows even more correctly. I position myself and infuse my nascent soul into the colorless glass sword. Please forgive us this once. Flash. Sea of righteousness and mountain of grace. My nascent soul turns into a beam of light and strikes directly at the Mad Lord at the center of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Kagugugu. What? In a split second, the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace accelerates viciously and directly strikes the Mad Lord, who is caught off guard. Then, I enter the Mad Lord's consciousness. If Seo Huiol's heart essence is hell, then the Mad Lord's is akin to purgatory. That's why, even within it, I feel my mind is not completely corrupted, and I can use all of my remaining strength to clear his spirit. TSSDSSDSSD. Flash. At the same time, I feel the Mad Lord's confused mind momentarily clear. It won't last long. Pat it. I exit the Mad Lord's consciousness and retrieve my nascent soul. It was a risky gamble that could have ended this life, but it succeeded. Impressive. What was that just now? The Mad Lord looks at me with eyes cleared of madness due to the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. I calmly reply. The technique's name is Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. Think of it as a kind of heart sword. Is that so? He smiles bitterly. Go. Free my disciple from me. Right now, my concern is focused on Seo Huiol's blessing, so I won't chase you until I capture Seo Huiol. Thank you. He strokes his face. My condition won't last long, so hurry. Go now. I bow to the Mad Lord, and then fly towards Kim Yun and John Myung-hoon. Let's go. Even without displaying the Twin Immortals dance, I reversed his consciousness once. This means I can perform the Twin Immortals dance in front of him later to gain another opportunity. I grab Kim Yun's hand again and place my hand on John Myung-hoon's shoulder, then activate the Gang Sphere avatar I placed in Kim Yun. Kararg. The Mad Lord begins to howl again. The reason is him trying to suppress his madness, but it won't last long. Let's go. Manipulating Kim Yun's consciousness that reaches the integration level, I complete a technique formula. Her peak-level martial arts comprehension combines with the formula, manifesting into the world as a martial art. Record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. Pat it. The integration level consciousness moves, and our very existence is erased from the Mad Lord's perception. John Myung-hoon. Got it. At the same time, John Myung-hoon uses the returning lightning strike technique. Pajajijik. Our bodies are enveloped in lightning, and we travel back the way we came at a speed close to teleportation. Kagugugu. However, as I feel the Mad Lord's madness prevailing, I sense her and the wonderfully mysterious fortress crossing space coming towards us. I grab John Myung-hoon's shoulder and insert a Gang Sphere avatar into him as well, accelerating him further. TSSDSSDSSD. John Myung-hoon accelerates even more, and we move away from the wonderfully mysterious fortress at a transcendental speed. Pat it. The wonderfully mysterious fortress recedes to the horizon and soon completely disappears from our consciousness domain. Kim Yun watches this scene, tears streaming down her face. Uppa. Yes. I hug Kim Yun. Congratulations on escaping. John Myung-hoon watches us while caressing a wooden box he holds close to his chest. Quaduk. Then, her left arm grabs my leg. Hiya,